Amy can't hear us. Amy, it's got to be on your end, hon. It's not us. Can you say something? Hey, can you talk? Amy, talk. You.
Test.
Mom, get her on the phone. Be the easiest. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, we're getting some technical difficulties here. We're trying to get Amy a 5x5. Don't worry, we're going to have a good show, but we've got a little bit of a struggle. You can listen to some Still Point carrying us into the show.
Hey there.
Wait, speak. Did you just talk or her? I can't hear you without your mic, Libby.
Testing. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you through my phone.
Okay, so I can hear you now, Amy. Couldn't hear you before.
You can hear me through the microphone?
I can hear you through my headset. Yes. Yes.
Yes, we can hear you through your microphone, through the headset.
Okay. I cannot hear you guys for some reason.
Try unplugging it or checking the cord.
Lost you. Lost you. You cannot hear. Whatever she did, I lost her.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a test.
Yeah, whatever.
Now I...
Okay, now we can.
This is kind of like when you went to go see Guns N' Roses in Los Angeles, folks, and Axl Rose was completely effing trashed on heroin, and we waited 2.5 hours, and he came up, threw up on stage, and then walked out of the show, and everybody was like going to kill him. Yeah, I was at that show. That wasn't...
Trying to connect through my other headphones.
I can hear you.
I cannot hear you though. It's something off my something with my headphones, I think.
It's not a problem. Take your time. Take your time.
Take your time.
Yeah.
If we got to go a little bit late, we'll go late.
Okay. Let me just
We'll just
connect
play
these.
some. We'll play some
Okay.
good tunes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Lost you. Speak up into your mic real quick. Let me see. Give me a test.
Testing.
Yeah, I can hear you on the mic. I just there's no joy with you hearing me.
I'm still hearing nothing.
She switched headphones. She's still hearing nothing.
It's got to be in your settings on your output.
It's got to be on your settings and your output.
Go to your output in Windows and make
I'm gonna
sure.
put her on speaker.
Just go to output in Windows and make sure output is to your headphone slot. If not, change it to another setting and then go into headphone slot. Also, make sure your headphones are all the way turned up, which is another thing that it could be. If that just happens, we'll just kick you off the show for not being prepared. It's all right. We get to hear some Still Point you guys haven't heard before. We can do this. Hey, hold on a second. Amy, tell her to...
She hears you.
Hey, Amy, go ahead and just say something in the microphone a couple times. Let's make sure the crowd can hear you. Wait, you need to turn off speaker, Liv.
Oh.
Okay, Amy, go ahead.
Say something.
Testing.
Okay. Can you guys hear her on that testing, those 3 testings? Let me know if you can hear Amy. There's no reason why you guys should not be able to hear Amy right now.
It'll take, we're like a 15-second delay.
It's 12, but yeah, I know. It's not my first rodeo there, Turbo. Been here before.
Really? Had no idea.
Once in a while. Let's see.
Okay, there
Give
we
me a
go.
green light, folks.
Now, can you
She
hear me?
said good.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now we need to do a sound check. Give me a hollow 1 2.
Oh, sorry. Testing. Hello, 1 2.
Turn it up, up.
Let me turn this off now. Sorry.
Don't go insane, but turn it up.
All right, I'm gonna hang up.
Okay,
I hung
do
up.
that.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it was echoing.
Bring it down 15 to 20%.
Testing.
That's good enough for government work, folks. Let's get into it.
Sorry. Always the problem child.
You should be. Damn it, Amy. We were
I
on
know.
time.
Always my fault.
It's all good. We love you anyway. You know, and for the sakes, we have a real cool intro, but we're not going to do it right now because we don't have the time. So let's just go ahead and assume that.
Gotta put Yenny in.
That was good.
Did you do the message chat?
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Me. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. And to my left...
I'm technically to your
Sure.
left, but everyone's left is...
Whatever.
it's-
Everybody's... It doesn't matter. Over here is my wife, Olivia Spear. The one who's arguing. Go figure.
Of course.
The one to my right also is Amy. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We've got a good show tonight. We're going to start off right away. Did everyone bring their musical notes?
Yes.
So, is anyone uncomfortable singing their verse? No.
I don't know how to sing it.
Okay,
so-
well, we're gonna test it. This is a dry run. We have not done this. You guys may not have seen this meltdown from the left, and we are going to show you the video, and then we're going to replicate it. We've sat down and we've decided to have a response video to the crazy loony lefties, and you get to do this. But first, we've got some things we've got to settle. We've got some things to clear up. One is, you can see down below our show goal, $300. I'm done asking at 8:30. You know the drill. You guys get to watch the show, and a lot of people just like to tip at the end and make me all nervous. And you know what? Like 20 people said it last night. They're like, dude, we just like to see you squirm. And I'm like, you know what?
That's funny.
I'll tell you right now, you can go to thedumbshow.com/donate. You like the show? It's free. You don't have to donate right now. Relax. Even if you watch it 100 more times and you still don't donate, we're not going to ask you any questions. Just like, share, and subscribe. It's free. But we aren't a big media conglomerate. We don't have a huge sponsor. It's us and Wimkin. And that is where you might hear a little bit about Wimkin. So we appreciate if you would like, share, and subscribe. But also go to Wimkin. 9 million people, social media, free speech, 100%. Will never be censored. And we aren't just clients. We are plank owners in the company. We own
Plank owners?
Yeah, plank owners means you own a part of the plank. It's like a ship owner. You get a piece of the plank, but when you break ground, or a brick, or the proverbial I don't know, piece of chain in a ship. But it's called, you're a plank owner.
Got it.
You
I did not know that.
In days of old, when they would strike in the HMS ships, in the Crown Victorian days, they would all carve their initials or sign the people who build the ship. But when you first board and you are a seaman or an admiral or whatever it is, from seaman to admiral, if you were on the initial voyage of that vessel, you'd be called a plank owner. See?
Did not know that.
Yeah. So plank owner.
All right. You learn something new every day.
You do. So we've got, we did that at 4 different Apple stores when they were in construction. We signed the inner wall
really?
where they put up the metal sheet. Yeah, we would all sign it and go in there and tag the store. It was a cool little tradition. Plank owners. Okay, moving on. We want to get started on this. So if you haven't done this, dumbshow.com/donate, go over there and donate if you can. It's not about hurting You know, where they say, give till it hurts. No, give till it feels good. It's kind of like anal. So, was that appropriate? Was it too soon? Should I have waited for the viewer count to go up? 9x6 book, all leather, Constitution of the United States. It has gold inlay, and it is 144 pages. It is a beautiful book, exclusive to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We sell these. We also have a ton of shirts and coffee and other things. So if you're like, screw that, I'm not going to donate to these guys, you can go find some amazing stuff. Our hats, our shirts are to die for. Olivia, Amy, and all of our 247 5-star reviews will tell you that. And that's out of like 5,000 sales. Amy, are you ready for this?
I'm as ready as I can be. Yes.
Exactly.
Right. Is this something you don't want to do for career damage? Like, don't want to hear
I
you
have no
sing.
shame. I don't care.
Okay. That's what I
don't
like.
know the tune of what I'm supposed to be singing. This to.
That was the only
I was trying to wear like a scarf or a hat and sunglasses, but I just didn't have the time to pull it together.
I got you. And that's my prerequisite for all of my dates. And Olivia too was I have no shame. Here is the original song, which was released by the Democrats. And this is all they have left. They don't have anything else. As they got together. And now this, first of all, I've done a little history. And the tune, this catchy little tune, is from an old coal miners' hymn that was used during a strike. And they're trying to make symbology of the days of old, that they are somehow a part of the working party. And give me a break. Workers voted for Donald Trump. Unions went with Donald Trump. Everybody went with Donald Trump. And everybody's loving what Donald Trump is doing. 71% of the people say is that he is enacting his agenda. And the liberals are just like melting down. They don't know what to do. But here's the video. Enjoy this. And we have written our own for your ears as well. And we'll get the cadence of this shortly. And it's going to be brutal. I don't know if it's going to be brutal as this, but it's going to be brutal. Here it is.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on? Which side are you on? We'll fight against DOGE. We'll fight Elon Musk. No Elon scab within our walls.
We are a bunch of cunts. Whoa.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
So many white people singing a black men's hymn.
Tell me, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Trump's coming for our unions. He wants us all to fail. He wants us all to bow to him, but we want him in jail. Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on?
Tell me.
Which side
Guy
are
in the
you
background
on?
with the capacity
They
head
say
is like
in the
everything.
capital city there are no neutrals found.
Boring.
You're either with the Union or a scabby Musk bloodhound. Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Don't take that government buyout. Don't listen to Trump's lies. Us workers haven't got a chance unless we organize. Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Listen, I am not for Al Qaeda and ISIS in any way, shape, or form. But if you are going to attack the United States, I have an address of where these people will be all together once again in the short term. So this is the cadence of the song. Dun, 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 dun. Now, this is going to be brutal. We know it's brutal. But we have some backup singers to help us. And I think our rendition's much better. This was a surprise. I'll start because I believe that you should always take one for the team when possible.
Okay.
Are we ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
Okay. Now remember, after your paragraph, pause and wait for the chorus to stop. And the chorus is just 2 sentences. Okay? All right, here we are. Here's the reply to the which side are we on? Oh, they scream insurrection while their riots torch the streets, looting every business, calling theft a right to eat. They let felons out for votes while locking grandmas in. They call you a domestic threat for loving God and kin.
Oh, which side are they on? Which side are they on?
Amy.
They tax you till you're broke, then say you didn't build that. They sell our oil to China while your tank just bleeds too flat. They tell you eat the bugs while they feast on Wagyu steaks, then cry about the climate from their beachfront private estates.
Oh, which side are they on? Which side are they on?
Olivia.
They put men in girls' sports and say it's fair, don't whine. They tell your kids they're racist if they don't fall in line. They claim a man can get knocked up and say just trust the plan. Trust the plan. And if you dare to question it, you're silenced, banned, and damned.
Oh, which side are they on? Which side are they on?
They bail out their donors while your business burns to ash. They print another trillion, then ask why the shelves are trashed. They locked you in your house while their rules were just pretend. They partied in the Hamptons while your grandma wasn't on the mend.
Oh, which side are they on? Which side are they on?
Amy.
They say abolish prisons, but they still protect their own. They let murderers walk free, but arrest you for a loan. They kneel for foreign flags while spitting on our vets, then wonder why Americans are saying we're not done yet.
Oh, which side are they on? Which side are they on?
They flood the streets with junkies. They say it's harm reduced. They pass the needle round, the next shocked when death ensues. They buy beachfront mansions while they warn of rising tides. They say your truck is killing us while flying private skies. Whew, that was rough.
That's a tough one.
Which side are they on? Which side are they on?
They ban your gas stove, but theirs will always burn. They kill off your job and say just learn to code in turn. They tell you not to speak. They tell you not to pray, and if you don't comply, they'll find a way to make you pay.
Oh, which side are they on? Which side are they on?
Amy.
They hide behind the FBI. They spy and call it law. They use the courts like weapons. They lie without a pause. They stole from every worker. They crushed the middle class. And now they say you're selfish just for wanting your life back.
Oh, which side are they on? Which side are they on?
They make believe there are 67 genders and women are just lipstick. They tell you they care about your rights and your baby is a clump of shit. Making money by the boatload with investments in secret stocks. Endless wars, media lies, corruption, and a woman with a great big cock.
Oh, which side are they on? Which side are they on?
Ladies and gentlemen, the singing Don't Unfriend Me's with a rendition for the ages. Democrats.
We've been asked where Hayden was.
What?
We have been asked where Hayden was.
Yeah.
Hey, easy. I did pretty good. I like my rendition. Yes.
My kids have gotten me sick, so I have no voice. So,
This is the truth. This is true. We will be recording that and cutting that for prosperity. Let's let that go away. Liberals, you're idiots.
Is it on Apple iTunes yet? Are we?
It should be. It should be like the. It should
we get
be
a
number
Grammy?
1. Absolutely a Grammy. Why not? I mean, the writing was stupendous. The delivery at times.
It could be, well, I can't freaking see, so I can't see in the dark. I couldn't read
because
it.
a lot of people you have to see to
be able to read it. My
right. Don't
contact's
give up
all
your
fuzzy.
day jobs. Easy. I thought we crushed it. We had a shite ton of people on, and we lost about 22 on that. No, we didn't. We didn't lose anybody. We've got 225 plus. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. A little bit of fun, a little bit of humor, because what do you have left after that? Tonight's going to be a good show. I'm going to go through, I gave a little teaser last night with Leroy and I in regards to missing funding from the DOD, which will be the next step. And if you think this is bad, just wait until Hegseth finds the DOD. This is chump change that Elon has found. It's under $1 trillion. We're talking upwards of anywhere from 11, 15, $20 trillion, depending upon what you're looking at. This is no joke. They will go into more detail. All I know is that the rumblings that I am hearing is that not only is there corrupt. Bobby Richardson says, for Leroy's thong and Amy's F-bombs, love you all. That's
Thanks, Bobby.
Very nice. Very nice.
Just say fucking thanks.
Yeah, fucking thanks a lot.
Sorry.
And I've got copious amounts of notes. And I'm going to save this for the end because I gave the teaser last night. Now, I can't give you specifics on who did what, whatever. But my understanding that I'm hearing is that not only is there corruption, not only is there tomfoolery and money going where it's misappropriated, but there's actually attempts to hide the paper trails and the digital footprint of this. And this is all starting to come out, and it's going to be monumental. But when I go into this DOD, it's going to take a little bit of time. Ladies, I don't want to monopolize the show, so there's plenty to do before that. And if anybody needs to jump off, but I think it should be pretty interesting for everybody to participate in. Let's get into the show. A block is official with the which side are you on? And since we were singing, we didn't count that minutes. I'd like to get your thoughts on the liberals. Do they have anything left? I mean, did they keep any powder dry? Because if this is what it's going to be for the next 4 years, holy crap, I cannot wait for Republicans to sweep 50 states, because that's what we're talking about here. There's nobody out there who is saying Trump is doing something that he wasn't promising to do. And this is why they voted him in. This is what they want. They want a tear. Yes, there's probably some federal employees who aren't very happy right now, but you know what? Tough shit. It happens in the private sector all the time. All of us have been laid off at one point or another. A lot of us got laid off during COVID. This is how it feels. Yes, it sucks. We're sorry, but we are tired of the wasteful spending. Amy, you first. Do the Democrats have anything left?
No, but I am enjoying their videos on how to avoid ICE and other things.
Yeah.
I will say it's unfortunate. I have someone I consider a dear friend of mine that I grew up with that's very far left leaning, like crazy liberal person.
Mm-hmm.
And they make videos, and it's so hard for me not to comment and go, but they're breaking the law. Like, these people are already here breaking the law. So I am enjoying the videos, not just from that person, but from everyone on the left, and the crying and the grasping at straws. But no, I mean, I don't know what Trump is living up to his promises. I understand that they don't like Elon Musk in the Oval Office, but no one cares. Like, he's not sitting at Trump's desk. Trump is there. And also, Trump's on TV every single day. There's transparency. We didn't hear from Joe Biden, like the whole 4 years. We didn't hear from him this much. So I don't think they have a leg to stand on. I think everyone may not be happy with the things that Trump is doing presently, but it's for the greater good. And sometimes you got to hurt a little bit to get to the better parts. I don't know. That sounds really bad. You
got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, as they say. And, great points are they were offered 8 months severance in the federal employees. You should have taken it. You still can. We got 40,000 people to 60,000 already accepted it. Take it and find a new career path. It's not like you can't reapply for another government job. It's not like you can't go work in the private sector. It's not like you can't be a contractor. It's time to move on. New career. We're done spending this type of money on this stuff. Liv, how would you describe this? I mean, if you were to sum up the Democratic Party and how they're reacting, they've always been like off, but this is some out there shit. Like I never thought I would see them stoop to this level where they're reacting at everything on the hour. It used to be by the week. Lately, it's been the day, and the last 3 weeks since Trump's been in has been hour by hour. They're like crossing out their picket lines and rewriting something on the back because it's like, oh, we need to be offended by this thing. What is going on with the Democratic Party? What happened to the party of the educated party? What happened to the party of the worker, the party of free speech? Where are the Democrats live?
It cracks me up that Elon Musk used to be their hero because he was the inventor of the EV car and they all loved him for it. And now that he's aligned with Trump, they all hate him. The funny thing is he's doing this for free. He's not even taking a paycheck.
Right.
But hey, if they don't care where their tax dollars go, they're more than welcome to pay a few of my bills. I got no problem with them paying some of our shit. If they don't care where their money goes, heck, pay for my internet bill a month. Why not? I mean, who in the world doesn't want to know where your money is going? Does somebody actually go, you know what?
It's not their money.
The electric bill this month, you know what? I don't know how much it is. So I'm just going to pay them $1,000, whatever. I don't care how much electricity I used. I just want to pay them money. No one ever says that.
It's because it's not their money. They don't. Most Democrats, most liberals, surprisingly enough, largest form of that party, pay the fewest amount in taxes because, yes, the red states have a ton of welfare recipients. We know this, a ton of people on work furlough. And we get it. We understand. But that has to do with because the red states have less technology. They have less high quality medicine. Most people, specialists and doctors, have to go to the bigger cities to do this. So when they get injured, and they do the tougher jobs, they do the rural jobs. So therefore, there's more workman comp for red states. Frank Riley says to help fund an entire episode of Olivia singing.
Wow, I didn't realize I did that great, but thank you.
Oh, she purrs like a kitten, trust me. So I just want...
Oh my God, Debbie, I will pay her electric bill for naked feet pics. She's obsessed with the feet pics.
Electric, fine, $762 last month. Let us know, Debbie. We'll wait for it, and we'll call it a good night. Over 200 people on right now. Thank you so much. We've got 111 on Facebook. Finally, Facebook, we're starting to see. We have gained 3,000 followers in a day and a half. We are now, folks, we just announced 220,000. Liv, tell them where we're at.
223,165.
Yesterday.
And considering that you sent me a picture this afternoon.
Oh, no, don't tell them about that picture. Oh, sorry.
No, this afternoon that was like 222,100.
Yeah, so we've gained almost 25,000 followers in less than a month and a half. So Facebook lifting the ban. Great. Now go ahead and allow us to have stars and stop throttling our live shows. So I just want this. I want people to understand is that I understand a lot of red states have to deal with a lot of government assistance. We understand this, but there's a trade-off. If you don't want your water, if you don't want your food, if you don't want your beef, if you don't want your chicken and poultry, then all you got to do is go ahead and stop sending money to the red states. Otherwise, shut up. At least we're not having people who have 8 kids and do absolutely nothing. These are productive people who have suffered the consequences of tough labor type jobs. Okay. But the issue that we have is that most people in your party, when it comes to those on welfare and WIC and everything else, are people who are not employed, people who have never been attempting to be gainfully employed. And the reason why is because they can't find a job because you put them in the barrio and they have a job to do. Jack in the Box, Wendy's, McDonald's, or the local AM/PM. And those aren't careers. We need to stop segmenting and squaring off across the track mentalities and start bringing stronger businesses with tax deferments to these corporations to come into the inner city to help clean them up. I believe that's year 2. I believe Donald Trump is going to start making impacts in larger cities. If he wants to get crime down, there's only so much he can do with the border and fentanyl. He's got to go in and help these cities. So we'll see what happens. What else did I miss from this, Amy?
I don't know. I just don't know. It's very difficult to bring in businesses, I think, to a lot of inner cities. I mean, I work in DC. My office is in DC, and it's like the nice part of DC. So I don't go to my office for a reason, and I don't really work in DC. I refer it out to somebody else. Jason will work there. He's a man. I just do not work in DC as a woman. I think it is for what I do for a living too. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. Why would you? Debbie, I'd be happy to email my electric bill to you because I have no problem with you questioning my integrity and honor if I haven't established it in 4 years. But I don't need you to pay my electric bill. If you want to donate to the show, you can. But if you want feet pics, it's going to cost you. Sorry, that's the way it works. Feet pics.
Let me get a pedicure first.
We can pull them off the net. If it's feet pics, nobody's going to know. You know what I mean? We can put them in some ruby slippers or something. All right, let's move on.
Ginger has a question.
Ginger. Okay,
on YouTube. Why is America funding the world? What is the return? If we are going to fund the world, shouldn't we own them then? Shouldn't we only be funding Americans?
Listen, I'm not a populist. I'm not a nationalist. I'm not a globalist. I'm somewhere in between that. I believe that without the military bases that are all over the world, that there would be instability and we would have had another world war, at least 2 of them. By this time, I'm not a NATO fan, but it does keep Russia in check. I'm not necessarily dumping all the money that we dump into Japan, but we do, and we dump a shit ton of money into Australia, and we're now going to also have to figure out money when it comes to Diego Garcia because it's a pivotal point for refueling. There's also some other things at Diego Garcia that I can't mention that are off the books that are absolutely essential for human intelligence. And I can't go into it, but I'll tell you that we're going to have to renegotiate that because China wants to come in and take it. I believe that there is a reason why stopping AIDS in Africa is a good idea for the United States to invest in. That overall world famine is not a good thing for all of us. That allowing drug cartels to run governments is not a good thing to do. And allowing people to commit genocide and mass casualty events in foreign countries is also not good for the geopolitical stability of the world. However, I have no desire ever again to put money into lesbian tuna that have an identity crisis and can't fundamentally understand why the Red Sea is called red and the Black Sea is called black, and they have to be so insensitive to colored tuna. And I don't care how much that costs. If it's $5, it's too much. I don't care about removing the peni from a pig and putting it on a cow to somehow save some money on bacon. Liberals are like the Nazis with their insane experiments towards banned tour bus. Amy Bordeaux.
Thanks,
you.
Amy.
I don't care about any of those things. I don't care about funding sociology for the planet. I like real science, applied science, economics, putting in institutions of capitalism and a republic with an elected representative government. These things I'm okay with. Everything else that doesn't assure our survival needs to be cut and eradicated from our spending. Amy, then Olivia.
I agree with everything you said. I do think that funding, the birth control and AIDS medication and whatever people need in Africa, we should still continue to do that. However, I also believe that other countries should be pitching in as well. I think it will come back. I think this was just a blanket, like, holy shit, we're hemorrhaging money. Like, all the credit cards are shut down until further notice, and then we're going to sift through and see what we can allocate money to. I believe that we will be sending money for important things such as that, but I do think other countries need to step in. Snoop Dogg's having a moment. I don't know why he can't help out. He's in everything else, so he should be helping out with the rest of the world. It's my 2 cents.
Amy, what's your highest energy bill you've ever had in Loudoun County, Virginia, in your neck of the woods?
It's probably my last one. I think it was 683. Yeah.
Energy's expensive out here, y'all.
Everyone had high.
Yeah.
Everyone.
We have a big
Yeah,
house.
we-
Also,
had
we
a
have,
high
we have
electric
a
bill this
we have-
month.
We have a larger home, and it was very cold this month. Very cold.
Yeah,
So
that's what it was.
And you got to understand, we run all these lights 3-4 hours a day, all the cameras, all the computers. You know, it's
don't.
expensive. And she doesn't. Right. It's expensive. So it doesn't matter. I don't need you to pay my electric bill. I don't need you to pay my mortgage. The show has all of those things paid for outside of your donations. Your donations are for the work we do here. And honestly, it goes into the show. It goes into savings. It goes into other things. But we try to keep our personal expenses aside from what we get from donations. Donations are really to grow the show and for Olivia, myself, to continue to pay the show forward. That's what we do. And honestly, it's all Rob and Peter to pay Paul. I don't think Debbie's questioning any of that. I was just kidding with Debbie because Debbie and I go back and forth. But energy's expensive out here. And so's internet. Internet's cheap for Amy, cheaper because they have a Resi account.
yeah.
I have to have a business account to do what we do. It gets pricey. Okay? So that's all. Just want to tell you. It's all good. It's all good, Debbie. Feet pics are on the way.
No, we're not on electric heat. We have gas here. So
Yeah, they have gas. We have all electric,
All
and
electric,
we
no
have
gas.
we have not only a sup pump that runs pretty much 24 hours a day where we're at in Round Hill right here because we're down, like all the water from all the real estate around us and all the homes comes right through our backyard, and that creates.
We have a river in our backyard when it
We
rains.
do. We have a river in our backyard, and we have a sub pump that runs 24 hours a day, pretty much. I mean, it's always running. And then we've got heat pump for our AC and our heat. So when it gets down to like 10 degrees, you got to put it up.
We got to put it up to like
75 to get
74,
72.
75 to make sure it heats up enough so we get to 71 or 72.
And this is a cheap house.
And if you
this is a modern house,
4,500 square foot home,
state of the art.
But yeah, if you don't, it just blows out like 65 degree air.
Yeah, it's crazy.
unfortunately.
So needless to say, world's smallest violin playing for me. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying this is an expensive county to live in, and I'm proud of it, and I love it. But yeah, energy is expensive out here. That's why I'm so stoked that Donald Trump will bring it down. And a lot of it is these data centers. These data centers pull a ungodly amount of energy, and we all have to pay.
One.
Yep, we're getting another one.
By
So
us.
what Trump wants to do is create, like, if they could prove nuclear here, I would say yes. Like in a freaking heartbeat, to put all the data centers on nuclear energy and cut our energy down by half. But we'll see what happens. All right, we got to move on. A block's done. Liv, did you have anything to say other than that when it comes to the spending or are we done with this segment?
I'll chime in real quick. I'm okay with countries that need help and famine and the AIDS and stuff like that. I'm okay with that. I agree with Amy. That's other countries and NATO and whatever should pitch in their fair share. It shouldn't be just us funding everyone. But it's when we want to be the world's savior and we have to save everyone like no one else can. And that shit needs to stop.
Yeah, stop being the world's police.
Exactly. We don't need to have our hand in every single cookie jar in every single country around the world. We don't. We need to back off a little bit. And the unnecessary spending needs to stop, like sending $50 million worth of contraceptives to Gaza where like no one's there.
I want to make sure we understand that sometimes people paraphrase or sometimes people shorten the truth. It's not condoms.
It's contraceptives.
It's not that. It's reproductive care. And that goes down from PAPS kits, that goes down to gynecology equipment, that goes down to prostate exams. It's all tied into testicular cancer, pre-screening, things like that. But yes, also contraceptions. And it wasn't just Gaza. The point is it doesn't matter. There's no reason for us to send $50 million of these things overseas.
No,
There's
there
just
isn't.
not when we have veterans who are starving, not when we have fentanyl on the streets, not when we have Gold Star moms that are literally trying to find out how the hell they can feed and eat or pay their rent. This is the issue that I have. Take care of Americans first, veterans first, and then if we have anything left over, we'll take care of you. But I just want to be clear. Even Elon Musk said, "Hey, I was wrong about the $50 million dollars in condoms." It's more complicated
We
than
need
that.
to take care of our own before we take care of other people in other countries. Our
Keith,
vets.
you put it in here. I got to say it. Keith Baker donated $51.99. Love y'all. You four kill it every time. Don't want to see your feet, Matt. I wouldn't either, dude. Those dogs don't hunt. Go ahead, Livy. I'm sorry, but you put it in there.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I just I lost my train of thought.
Okay, it's boarding at the station. All right, good conversation. Appreciate it. We're at A block. We'll be right back.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
I may have to take a break real quick.
Not sure what.
My left contact's fuzzy. I can't see anything.
Maybe it's
out
because
of
the cat keeps rubbing up against you.
No, it's been doing it before. I don't know. My left
You want me to
contact's.
slap you in the other eye and balance it out?
Yeah, then I'm blind and can't see anything.
All right. So
I'll be right back.
Wait, you're going to miss the entire segment. Can I at least introduce the segment?
Yes.
Pam Bondi comes out swinging. I want to show you a quick video, and then Olivia, you jump out. We'll let Amy go and talk about it. Pam Bondi. People were like really getting on Pam Bondi. First of all, Tulsi Gabbard was confirmed today. She's now the new DNI. This is nobody on Trump's list is going to get struck down now. RFK will be confirmed. Kash Patel will be confirmed. He gets everything he wants, and this is awesome. Pam Bondi. Everyone, they're so impatient. They're like, it's been 24 hours. Where is she? Why isn't she dropping the hammer? Relax, people. She just got into office, and she probably wanted to make sure that Tulsi Gabbard got confirmed before she dropped the hammer. And I was right, because literally right after Tulsi was confirmed, which was probably the most contentious pick, Pam Bondi drops the hammer. Here is Pam doing it in Pam Bondi style. And she wears a turtleneck really well. And I'm not a big turtleneck
All charges
guy.
against Kathy
I like to
Hochul.
see the neck, and I'll be honest with you, it's just kind of seductive and sexy. And I'm sorry, Pam Bondi, folks. Here she is. Sorry.
We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. As you know, we sued Illinois, and New York didn't listen. So now you're next. We're here today because we...
Liv, if you got to jump, go ahead and get on out of here.
I'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am. Amy, Letitia James gets smacked down. This is the one who ran on going after Trump. These are the ones who her and Bragg and everyone else has altered the law to fit their narrative, to take misdemeanors and increase them to felonies with no basis, to take cases that had fallen by the wayside due to statute of limitations and extend them, to rewrite New York law. All of these type of things, they are corrupt beyond corrupt. The Daniel Penny case proves this. The way they treated Donald Trump. New York is a cesspool of complete shit. The whole frickin' place needs to burn to the ground, from Cuomo to Hochul and everyone else. It is a place of corruption. It is a place of lawfare. And Pam Bondi focusing there first, I think, is what she needs to do. California is blatantly disrespectful to the taxpayer. New York is criminal. I don't like California, but New York is fucking criminal. Pardon my French. Amy, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. Well, just like she said, they are breaking federal law, and everyone who is signing off on these law, the ability to break these laws should actually be prosecuted to the fullest extent. Make an example of these people. They have been trying to skirt the rules, skirt the law for years. I mean, I don't know if it was because my family has been so sick, I have been like listening to the news, but I haven't been able to like focus. And I think it was in New York where they had the Venezuelan gang that was tipped off. Was that in New York?
That was Colorado.
Okay, Colorado. So wrong place. But Colorado is now complying with Pam Bondi and the federal laws, I believe, after that incident. But New York they're doing the same thing. They have tons of hotels that are rented out to illegal migrants, or
Yeah,
not
we're
immigrants.
gonna talk about that.
So,
Yep.
that's been going on for years. I remember that one guy who's like a news reporter who was standing outside, and there was military people, I don't know what branch, out there, and they told him he had to leave, and he was just asking questions about these illegals taking up residence in our hotels, in our apartment buildings, and people who are homeless that are from the United States are living on the streets, freezing to death, starving to death, while we're giving hundreds of dollars a month to illegals that have already broken the law by coming here. It is illegal to come here by crossing the border without the proper documentation, without the proper invitation, I should say. It's
Yep.
illegal. Yes, I'm so happy. I didn't really know much about her. I told you I have a friend who like knows her. So, but I was like, so I've been doing more research. I really like her a lot. She's not only gorgeous, but like she's like so cool. I want to
Yeah.
be her when I grow up. She's like awesome. She's so
She
cool.
is.
I like her. So I'm in for this. I love it.
I think it's going to have people question and say, like today on the 5, and I really like Harold Ford Jr. I disagree with him today vehemently. And he said, let the past be the past. No. The past predicts the future. And if you go ahead and tell people that the blatant misuse and fraud on both sides is acceptable, they will do it again. I think there needs to be an accounting for wasted Republican spending. People who have used USAID and other programs, not just Republicans and Democrats, but anyone in between who fraudulently distributed weapons to with Fast and Furious, as Obama's administration did, and the Attorney General did. Whether it's sending pallets full of cash to Iran, I want an accountability. I want an accounting of these things, and I want people who did it to be held responsible. There needs to be a level of transparency with the American people. It is our money. It's not theirs. The American government makes nothing. They have no revenue stream except for us. Now, they sell weapons and everything else, but that money comes from us. And they are not a corporation. They are a representative of the constituents of this country, and we pay into this system not in an effort of being feudal or not to create some sort of monarchy, but a representative government, and that taxation needs to be represented as much as the constituents of this country. And it's not. This is taxation without representation. We had a revolution against the English over this. And it wasn't just tea in the harbor. It was for gun confiscation and censorship and red brig gangs coming in and physically removing people from their farmlands and territory and threatening them and raping people. Yeah, the English were tyrannical. Love you. This was also happening in today's society. And without representation, what are we going to do? So when this is the tip of the iceberg. We're going to go into the level of fraud. And when I say it's incredible, you're going to literally, your jaw is going to hit the floor hearing the level of corruption. I need some help from everybody. We've got 211 here. Rumble is cooking. How many in Rumble?
Let me check. Rocking the glasses.
Doing great. You look good. We're doing great on Facebook.
68.
Okay, great. And we're doing well. Here is Jessica Tarloff. And as some people think Pam Bondi is attractive, I think Jessica Tarloff's pretty. I think she's a well put together liberal. I think I don't agree with any of her platform. I don't like her politics, but I will appreciate anyone who will stand up there on the 5 and get lambasted by 4 people and still try to put a smile on their face. And there's a lot of times that Judge comes in there and she's just dead wrong. And I appreciate Jessica Tarloff. I don't appreciate her politics, and here's why. I want you to listen to this. And this is such something that's misconstrued. And this is why we need to look at the legal ramifications of what they've done, because people are scared, and the talking points to all the pundits are to claim that this is a constitutional crisis when the crisis was decided long ago by federal and circuit court judges that stopped Texas from protecting its borders, that stopped red states from removing people from sanctuary cities. All of these things that have taken place, the political lawfare, is a constitutional crisis that was not created by Donald Trump. He is simply living in the world that was created by liberals. Here it is.
More personal level, I talked about 2 or 3 months ago to a college student from the Midwest. He reached out. He watches The Five, is thinking about a career in politics, really interested in political communication. We got on the phone, and he emailed me last week, and he said that I could share this. I've really appreciated hearing what you have had to say the past week on The Five and your podcast with Scott. So, yay, Scott. You've really opened my mind on certain things that are currently going on as someone who voted for Trump. And you have been communicating a lot of frustrations I've been feeling alongside some family and friends who didn't expect all the chaos. And then he puts in parentheses, not to mention the tariffs, as our family owns a small business where all our products are made in China. So this is a 20-year-old bro, right, from the middle of the country, comes from a conservative family. They love Trump. And it only took, I got this a week ago, so it only took 2 weeks, this level of chaos, for him to feel strongly enough that he would write that down, right? That's not a casual comment. And he told me that I could talk about it, that I could put that out on air. So it's obviously something that's very emblematic of not only what's going on in his life, but what's going on in his orbit.
This is a perfect example of liberals who are completely disconnected. Is there anything that Donald Trump is doing that he didn't run on? Can anyone tell me anything that he has done that he didn't say at every rally that isn't laid out in Agenda 47 that we covered for almost 18 months? Has he done anything? And her defining chaos, that is what he was elected to do. He was elected to create chaos. He was elected to break this down. He was elected to go in there and destroy the status quo. If you want to call that chaotic, I don't know. I call it extremely effective. In 3 weeks, he's gotten more done than Joe Biden did in his first 2 years. Olivia, your thoughts on the chaos, and is he doing anything that he didn't promise to do?
No,
But
everything he is doing, he said he was going to do. I am thinking that the liberals didn't think he would get such a jump start and just hit the ground running and go right to the deportations and go right to the big stuff right away. I think they figured they had some time. And the only reason they think there is chaos is because they caused the chaos. They caused this. There's a reason why Donald Trump is doing this. It's because they caused it. And if they wouldn't have done what they've done, then this wouldn't be happening.
What do you think when you say done what they've done? What is it specifically that you think that Democrats did that put us in this situation that we have to essentially break it all down in order to build it back up?
Well, for starters, the border, the open border, the sanctuary cities, the defund the police movement, the cashless bail, letting criminals have time after time after time after time of getting arrested and just letting them go without any charges, and they're repeat offenders. I mean, there are so many things that they have done that is causing this.
I was watching a video today, and it had like 20 Trump supporters who were like, I voted for Kevster, $10.80. Hope we get to the deleted data tonight. We're getting to some information, not everything, because there's things that I don't have the information to give you. This is an ongoing story. So what I'm going to give you is probably what you haven't heard, and maybe some you have, and we'll keep connecting the dots. But I'm not going to release something that hasn't been released. So all I'm aware of is that there are several stages to this investigation, and right now it's going through the database, it's going through the SQLs, it's going through all the ledgers, all the data points of money being spent, and there is missing data, a very large amount. So I will go into a little bit of that. So I was watching this video, and it was people saying, I'm an avid Trump supporter. I'm a Republican, and I am so upset with my vote. You're not a Trump supporter.
No, you're not.
And you didn't vote for him. Because everything he's doing is exactly what he promised. So you didn't vote for him. So what you are is a never Trumper or a middle of the road who decided not to vote for either of them, and you're going to tell us because you can't confirm it, show me your ballot. Show me go to the FEC, look up your name, look up your social, go in, show me who you voted for. And I'll believe you. But until you tell me that, or you knew this is exactly what you were going to do, because there is nothing that he has done to have you remove his vote. He has done nothing. He laid this out from top to bottom. Amy, your thoughts on the comments that there's too much chaos. It's so incredible.
The chaos has been happening since Joe Biden was elected as president. The people on the far left who are Joe Biden supporters who didn't blink an eye when Kamala Harris was then installed, which I'm loving. I haven't watched the whole interview yet, but I've started it. I'm loving it.
Thank God we dodged that bullet, dude.
Right? But people who are supporting these people and their policies, and the fact that our government is wasting money on billions of dollars of things that we don't need to be wasting money on, and people are supportive of that, shows that there's like a collective mass hysteria or delusion or some kind of epidemic of something's wrong with your brain wiring. I don't know. To blame it on the right, or to blame it on Trump, or to blame it on people who supported Trump is absolutely flabbergasting to me. I don't know. It's a little bit insane in my humble opinion. I did support Donald Trump. I've voted for him 3 times now, and I'm okay with it. And I was fully aware of this. I didn't even expect him to go this hard, this fast, but I'm grateful. I believe that we are in for a great 4 years, even though the first year might be a little painful for a lot of people. I think, in the end, we're going to be better off in the long run.
I don't think better off is where they want to be. Like,
No.
I truly, it's hard for me to say this because they will never let go of their victim mentality. They can't. Yep. Their entire party is based on it. Like, okay, I understand a lot of it's religion, it's our guns, it's our Bibles, it's our hometown, it's our Christian conservative values. Okay, fine. Small government, I get it. And a lot of it is based upon being the smart redneck. Like, that seems to be the Republican thing. When there is a redneck that comes out who's really freaking intelligent, or a guy who wears hats and has tattoos, or two lovely ladies that can actually put 2 sentences together from the Republican Party, who might even have a little bit of an accent, people go, oh my God, that's amazing. Liberals is that if you hear anyone who is white that makes sense, you're like, what? That's so rare nowadays. Like Harold Ford Jr., you're like, what? Or Jessica Tarloff, who is a libby lib lefty, but at least can present herself in some sort of with a little bit of class.
Harold's not white, though.
Yeah, sure he is. He says he's black. I don't believe him. I want a birth certificate. Yes, he's black. Of course he is. But that's not my point. But it's the presentation. It's the way he comes off as Hotchkiss. He comes off as Yale and Harvard. He's a lawyer. He doesn't look black. And I guarantee most people have no idea that he is black. But my point is this. When you see a white person on the left who makes sense, it's rare. But more importantly, when you see African Americans on the right who make sense, the liberals disparage them and shut them down. So it's not about equality. It's not about making sure that all black people have a voice or all women. It's making sure that all liberals have a voice. And this is the difference between conservatism and liberalism. Liberals want everyone to toe the line, everyone to say the same thing. And if you don't, you'll be cast out of the party. Conservatives are different. Thanks for my daily dose of truth, sanity, and humor. Love you guys. Thank you, JD. Conservatives want a wide range of ideas, and the best idea wins based on merit and nothing else. That is the difference in our party. Hands down. Harold Ford Jr. most assuredly is black. Kinda. Button up this thing on Pam Bondi. Do you think she goes after maybe the people who weren't pardoned, but there were several people who weren't pardoned by Joe Biden? Do you believe that she goes after the people who are exposed, like Millie, like Joe himself, like some of the people in Fauci's hierarchy, Third Reich command? Do you believe that Pam Bondi opens that up and goes after these people?
I think she's going to focus more on Trump's agenda right now, President Trump's agenda, as opposed to going after Millie or Biden or anything. And I think because if she does that now, people are just going to say that he's trying to pay them back for what they did to him. So I think they need to play it smart if they are going to, and they need to do what they're doing right now and make sure that his presidency is a success and he's doing stuff before they do that.
He is going after Letitia James. That's a pretty big target. I mean,
if they've done something wrong, then there should be no issue. But in what people are going to say about it is they're going to say he's just trying to get revenge on them.
Yeah, he should go after Jack Smith. He should go after Judge Merchan. I mean, there's a lot of people he needs to go after. Amy, what do you think? You think Pam Bondi goes after some of Trump's biggest critics, or do you think she sticks to things that are a little bit more higher altitude, like New York as a entity, that it's the level of corruption that's there? What do you think?
I think she's going to start with the bigger entities first and work her way into the smaller people. I mean, honestly.
I see. Oh, tie larger cases, and then they're going to go. Oh, that's really smart. That's very smart. Yeah, that would make sense. You take the big fish, and then you get the little fish tied up in the net, and you get the. Hey, I didn't go after them. I went after this New York, state issue, and it just. This is what they tried to do with Trump in the original.
Yes.
It's what they did in the Mueller investigation, but they couldn't make it stick to Trump, so they went after all the little fish. So here you go after the big targets, which is the state of New York, and you're going to go ahead and drop a fairly large net to go ahead and clean up all the other people who did these type of things. Very, very smart, Ames. I didn't think of it like that. I think they would have a success doing that versus what Mueller did, because we know that Donald Trump didn't collude with Russia. Right. Of course, he is now, because you know what's hilarious? All those people who want those peace flags, Ukraine flags, and have been begging for peace, yet they don't want Donald Trump to work with Putin and Zelensky. Once again, they don't want to solve the inner cities because they want to be the victim. They don't want to solve racism because they want to be the victim. They don't want to solve Ukraine because they want to be the victim. They don't care where the money is being spent because it's not their fucking money. This is the fundamental issue with liberal and big government, is they spend what they do not have and they spend what is not theirs. It's frustrating. Let's go ahead and shift gears. We'll be right back.
Join WimKen.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at WimKen.com
for confronting what is.
Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
So, do you guys remember, I don't know how you forgot, the Kendrick Lamar halftime show? Did you see it, Ames?
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, yeah, I didn't like it, but I know there's a lot of controversy.
Yeah. Harold Ford Jr. didn't even like it. Thank you, Hayden McKenna.
Hey, McKenna, can you please run upstairs and grab my wrist brace up in my bathroom?
Hey, could you grab me a steak with a baked potato and a blue cheese salad?
I left it up there. Could you grab it for me, please?
Hayden, this is a delicious protein vanilla. Thank you. Thank you, Hayden. So very good. Go get out of my room. Please. I was appreciative for about 5 seconds. Get out. Seriously, get out. What do you want? Hurry up. You can have one, whatever. Just later. Get out of my room. Okay. Oh, my children. Anyway, Kendrick Lamar went after Drake, went after pedophilia, and in there he goes A minor. And not a note, but talking about minors. And Robert Garcia decided to go ahead and do this in an open forum. And I will show you that in a second. But this sounds an awful lot like Insurrection to me. You guys tell me. Here it is.
I want to hear why, but do you think that calling Elon Musk a dick is effective messaging for confronting what is a potentially irreversible transformation of the U.S. government?
Well, he is a dick. And I think that he's also harming the American public in an enormous way. And what I think is really important, and what the American public want, is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the future of this country. And it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene talks about having decorum, about bipartisanship. This is the person that lies more than anybody else in the entire Congress. And so if she is going to make a mockery of hearings, I want to make sure that us as Democrats are bringing that same level of energy. And of course, after those comments, we went into exactly what Elon Musk is trying to do: dismantling the Department of Labor, dismantling the Department of Education, dismantling all of our consumer protection agencies. And so it's all important, but it's also important to get the attention of the American public and call Elon Musk out for what he is, and to make people know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a serious legislator and she shouldn't be treated as such.
Can we deport this guy? Is there a way we can look into his family history? Garcia sounds awfully illegal to me.
I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you.
I don't want us to forget what he just said, but just here's the part that I was referring to. And then I do want to talk about the threatening of violence with weapons. We'll talk about that in a second.
Across all of these agencies. And in some cases, actually teenage staffers. No accountability, no experience, and problematic records. They're trying to rob you, and they're probably a minor. Thank you, and I yield. Carry out the...
I can't stand Wexicans. I love Mexicans. I love all Latin people. I have got no problem with anybody from South America or Cuba or wherever. But Wexicans, which are white Mexicans who aren't really Mexicans, but are more liberal and little progressive beta soy boys than anything else. True Mexican people aren't like this. They speak their mind. They have no problem being direct. They are incredibly hard workers, passionate people. This guy is an uppity elitist. Anybody that uses that much hair gel, anybody who uses fucking makeup, dude, if he ever goes to prison, he's going to have an asshole the size of Lincoln Tunnel. Amy, your thoughts on him talking about a minor, and he didn't even do the Z formation, and talking about guns and violence?
There's a lot to unpack. I feel like in that couple of minutes there, first of all, I'm not a defamation lawsuit person at all, but I feel like the way he was saying that Elon Musk, in fact, was a male phallus, whatever it is. The way it was worded, I'm like, I feel like that's defamation. I don't know.
Sure.
Two, yes, this is inciting violence. To say that we need to bring weapons to a bar fight, and it's comparing what's happening in our world to a bar fight right now. Yes, this is absolutely an insurrection by their definition, and I think he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for this incitement of violence. The A minor comment, I don't know. So I'm not really well versed on like the Drake and what's the other guy?
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar, thank you.
Kendrick, yeah.
I'm just not well versed in the rap world and like their fight. But the reference of the A minor, it's classless. It makes you look stupid. And if you're trying to paint yourself as an educated person who should be taken seriously, but using the word dick on a national platform and then referencing a terrible Super Bowl reference in reference to this, child pedophilia, I'm assuming. I don't even know. I don't even get the reference, to be perfectly honest. I'm like really out of the loop.
Drake,
So-
there's a lot of rumors that Drake is like a P. Diddy and kid trafficker and all this other shit.
I don't know. I'm not in that world. I do not listen to Drake or Kendrick Lamar really. I know a couple of their songs, but I just don't know enough. I don't keep up with the battle rapping anymore after.
Fair enough. Yeah, people get shot during those things. You don't want to be in the crossfire.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think this guy should be fired and prosecuted for inciting a resurrection.
Well, he didn't even use it in the right context. He's right. Trey says this, but what he's doing is referring to his son, and he's basically making rando accusations that Elon Musk is a pedophile. Completely uncalled for, completely stupid. They're like, he plays Diablo, so therefore that's where he traffics and grooms kids. You fucking people are so ridiculously stupid. Here are two examples. Liv, I want to get your comments on this. The View, of course, Whoopi decided to join in because nothing like going after a real African. Oh, did I just drop that bomb? Ooh.
So yesterday, Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the child. And I don't want to hear anyone mess about our names, okay? Okay? Oh. Anywho.
You think someone would be appreciative that a child was named after an amazing Black nationalist, powerful civil rights leader who has also had sympathies towards Louis Farrakhan type conversations in the Black Panthers, but nonetheless, Malcolm X was a pretty prestigious figure, and I don't believe that's what he's calling his son after. But who cares? It's his child, and for someone named Whoopi, Liv, your thoughts on Whoopi? Your thoughts on this senator?
Well, is he a senator or a congressman?
Oh, congressman, sorry.
He and Maxine Waters must get along famously.
I'm sure they eat the same restaurant.
Pretty sure they do.
That's what she sounds like.
It is.
It's not about racism. It's what she fucking sounds like. Like, you find them in restaurant. You go ahead and get there. I mean, that's what she sounds like. It's not racist if it's true. Go ahead.
Anything that comes out of Whoopi's mouth is, I just take with a grain of salt. I think she's a piece of shit, in my opinion. And the fact that The View is still on the air just blows my mind.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess it's all those liberal stay-at-home moms that want to watch that shit, but
they're not moms. They kill their kids.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so that's not. I don't think.
Excuse me.
Oh, careful. Careful. This is usually where you take it to the next level.
Unemployed, living off welfare.
Oh, come
who have
on.
nothing to do.
All right, that's not all.
Watching The View.
Listen, I seriously doubt somebody who's living in the inner city with 8 kids is watching The View, right? I think this is probably the uppity elitists who is getting ready with their MAC makeup and putting on their Prada, and they have this in the background, and they get their talking point at the local, Starbucks right before they get their venti double caramel upside down macchiato, and go ahead and have these conversations. Did you watch The View? Oh my God, Whoopi was on fire today. Most educated people don't watch The View. Most educated people don't watch Fox and Friends. They have it on in the background as a distraction. I think people are so tired of legacy media that the only people who watch The View and this is probably true. I would need to look at the Nielsen ratings and the demographic. I bet you more conservative women watch The View than liberal women because they hate them so damn much. I bet their demographic is probably the opposite party on Fox and Friends and this, than the actual liberals or conservatives who watch the respective shows. I know. I have a lot of haters who watch this show. So,
that's how. What's his butt? The shock jock. Why can I never think of his name?
Howard Stern.
Yeah, how he got popular is because people who hated him watched him more than people who liked him.
Right. It's an absolute thing. So, what do you think? Should you be able to go after people's kids? Is because Elon Musk put his son on the national stage, is he fair game?
No, I don't think anyone's child is fair game. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's Whoopi's child. That child is not fair game. They are a minor. They did not ask to be in that position. And they need to be left out of it.
Okay. Amy, children, fair game if they put them on the national stage?
No, I 100% agree with what Liv said. They're not an adult. They can't consent to say, like, yes, I want to be in the public eye. As adults, we have discernment. Leave these kids alone. Let them, if they put themselves out there at 18, fair game. But up until that, no.
Should Elon Musk, you're not telling him how to parent, it's just an overall, should Elon Musk have his child in the Oval Office and having him on national TV?
Why not? It's the Oval Office.
I get it.
I'm not
this
saying
isn't
it's
Harvard. You don't get to ask a question with a question. I'm asking you.
No, I'm saying why not have him in there? It's the Oval Office. It's meeting the president of the United States.
Yes.
I would take our children there.
Yeah,
and
little Jack played under his dad's desk for a lot of pictures. And who cares? I mean, Monica Lewinsky was under the desk several times with a cigar in her orifice with Bill Clinton. I mean, if she can do it, why can't? Oh, is wrong. Amy, is it okay?
Yes, I feel like that's his job as a parent to decide what's best for his family, and if he wants to have his child there. Again, if I was invited to the Oval Office, the first thing I would say is, can I bring my kids? Because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I would absolutely bring my children if I could.
Sure. Should Elon Musk, in the presence of a president of the United States in the Oval Office, remove his hat and put on a fucking blazer and a tie?
Yes. That was my first thing. When I saw it, I was like, why is he wearing a hat?
Yeah, I was a little, I was a little grumpy.
But
you should respect respect the office, respect the presidency. We can't all be Fetterman's or whatever his name is, who wears
that's right, Fetterman
hoodies to Congress, but if we got invited as a show, I would definitely not be wearing one of our dumb t-shirts. I would be wearing a suit of some sort. Absolutely. I mean, that is someplace that you respect.
Amy, agree, disagree, or indifferent?
So, as a commoner, I would say you absolutely respect the office, and you dress up and you wear your nicest Sunday best, right? That's whatever you have to wear is like whatever the nicest thing is you wear. However, it's Elon Musk who's like has more money than Trump, and Trump has been wearing a lot of hats this presidency. Like even Melania, like they're very casual.
Not in the Oval Office. Not in the Oval Office.
But I'm just saying we're seeing a lot of casual photos of everyone, and I don't agree with this outfit choice, but I'm not a.
Why is his child in an Oxford?
I know he's wearing a cute little three-piece suit,
right? And a camel hair jacket, and looking like $1 million. And his father is wearing a T-shirt and wearing. It's a very expensive jacket. The jacket right there is like $1,200. It's
but
not
he
cheap.
is wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat. So
well, that's fine. There's a time and a place. I think I'm not questioning. I'm asking you the question. I haven't chimed in. Should he?
I think their friendship seems to be very strong. And if I roll up into my best friend's house and she's having a fancy party and I roll up in sweatpants, she's not going to go, what the hell are you doing? She's going to go, first, are you okay? But she's going to I'm going to party with everybody else. They're just going to accept me in my sweats. I will say that.
Right.
But I think it's weird personally, but I don't know their relationship. They seem like they've become fast friends. Elon Musk does not care. He's got fuck around money. He's going to wear whatever he wants. I'm sure everything he has on is a lot of money. I don't even know, but I'm sure it is.
Sure. I'm sure that outfit costs more than my entire wardrobe.
Yes. So I
all
don't think
very
it's
good.
personally, I would not do it. But I'm not judging if the president is okay, if he's not like, hey, dude, take your hat off and put on like a friggin' tie. Like, if he's okay with it, then I don't really care.
Yeah, I listen. I don't care about the jacket. The jacket's nice. I don't care about a t-shirt and jeans. I care about a hat. You don't wear a hat in the Oval Office. I'm sorry. I don't care. You remove your cover.
Yeah,
And that's the military guy in me. You don't eat at the table with your hat on. When the national anthem's playing, you take it off. When you pray, you take it off. When you are in the presence of one of the most sacred areas inside our country, you take the hat off out of respect for the office, not the man. That's my grief. But you know what? I'm not worried about this petty bullshit. This is liberal stuff. Whatever he can. If the president of the United States has a problem with it, I promise you, he's going to tell Elon Musk.
President Trump doesn't seem like he cares about petty stuff like that. Like he's more worried and concentrating on the big stuff, like deporting illegal aliens and trying to control the trillions of dollars of mishandled money over every year. I think he's more worried about that as opposed to what somebody walks into his office wearing.
But Melanie says the best. I'd rather a hat than white lines, cocaine.
Awesome.
Yeah, me too. or a vagina flavored cigar. Yeah, of course. Or John Kennedy popping whiskey and Percocet. Yeah, I'm with you. So, or Martin Luther King in the Lincoln bedroom performing sadomasochistic rituals with prostitutes from Washington D.C. streets, which also took place. Yes, I'm with you. A lot of people don't know about Martin Luther King. You guys really need to read about Martin Luther King. It's like my second passion outside of the JFK assassination, just like a little subcontext, the relationship. But I don't have a problem with Elon Musk in any way, shape, or form. I don't have a problem with him when he's liberal. I don't have a problem with Tim Cook. I don't have a problem with any of these people. You get to believe what you want, and this is a free country. Is it against the Hatch Act for Elon Musk to use political campaigning from the Oval Office? No, he's a civilian. Military employees, federal employees, elected officials, that's it. Or government representatives. He's not. He is an independent contractor. He doesn't make any money. He's unpaid. And this is why he does that, so he can have autonomy. So no, it doesn't violate the Hatch Act. He can sit up there and say, vote for Trump all day long. You can't do shit because he's a private citizen. It's freedom of speech. He isn't under the confines of the Hatch Act. He doesn't have to register for the Hatch Act because he's not making any money. Nobody's giving him money. They're like, well, he has government contracts that are paying him billions of dollars. Yeah, and he sells a product. And those contracts are outside and independent of his personal opinion. This is completely him using X and Tesla and Starlink for government contracts has nothing to do with Elon Musk, the CEO and owner. Nothing. And you can't make that stick. Because if you did, then Bill Gates would be in jail. If you did, Dallas Mavericks owner would be in jail.
Taylor Swift would be in jail. Every single celebrity would be in jail.
Yeah. So, no. He's working for free. He's a U.S. citizen, period. And he has every right to say what he wants. Now, there's other violations that they can do, but these are all within the federal law. And he's not a federal employee. He doesn't make a dime. So this is the smart part of Elon Musk, is he gives himself anonymity. Because it would be like them picking up us because we're doing a podcast in support of Donald Trump and saying that we're using political influence to coerce our employees to vie for whatever. You can't do it. We're citizens. We have the right to say whatever the fuck we want. So does Musk. So moving on, next segment.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
If you haven't had a chance to share this on Twitter, the other night we had 800 some odd on. Then we moved to, I think we had like 400 on last night, and we've got a crap ton on. Facebook's doing fairly well tonight, but if you haven't shared this on Twitter, please do. Let's get some more people on there. We love that so many people are here, and we love that we have so many across the platforms.
I have been requested I can't talk today. Requested to say hello to a young lady named Macy who is watching tonight. So that's all. Just one of our faithful muds just asked me to.
Who's Macy?
She is the neighbor of one of our muds who watches a lot, but usually just watches. And apparently she's like on chat or something tonight. So I'm saying
Like
hi.
a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Yep. So
Macy.
just saying hi.
Thanks for watching, Macy. If you haven't had a chance, go back to the beginning of the show where you can hear us sing a wonderful little. We're going to clip it. Yenny, go sit down.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Sandy says you can
Ask
say
where the
whatever
dog
you
was.
want. What's that?
I said I wanted to ask where the dog was. I haven't.
Doug's running around with the kids.
With kids.
Yeah, we don't let her in here because all the wires, but she doesn't hit them. She actually is very, very kind and doesn't go crazy. You can say whatever you want and wherever you want, just respectfully as well. Yeah, I agree with everything except for the respectfully part. I think as Republicans we should be done with being respectful. I think it's time to call a spade a spade. I think it's time. Christians have done a wonderful job of representing holistic value in this country and maintaining a stoic and affable demeanor. Yeah, those times are over. I think Christians need to get a little frustrated. I think Christians need to say some things that might just frustrate people to a point where they will be ashamed of the evil that they represent. I'm sorry. I think you can talk about God, but if I'm not mistaken, Jesus flipped over a few tables. Did he not? Am I wrong? Amy, I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Why? Tell me that Jesus Christ didn't flip over a few tables. That in the Old Testament, Jesus Christ wasn't an unforgiving and unmerciless God at times. Was he not?
I don't remember. I mean, I cannot recall one thing that you're referencing, but if you can,
Okay.
I would tell me because I can't.
I don't know.
Like Sodom and Gomorrah?
I don't know. Sodom and Gomorrah turning an entire pillar of salt.
Well, but that wasn't Jesus Christ, like the living human. That was God. So
Excuse me, pardon me.
sorry.
I think you know what
That's
I
why
was
I'm
talking about.
I've just-
Come on. You know what I was talking about. Come on.
No, I really didn't because as Catholic, we
How about
believe
Jesus in the Temple of Jerusalem?
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times that God was very harsh. I would say now, as we are here living in today's times reading the Bible, that it seems very harsh for what he did during those times. But I still stand by what the Bible teaches us. And
Sure.
when God put us on this earth, we didn't know how to act. He had to train us up. I mean, use those words.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And you and I've had that talk.
I do think
but
there were some harsh times, but I also think God was very patient and gave a lot of warnings. However, we are not supposed to pretend that we are God. Like, we are not the ones to flip the tables. We are not the ones to go, hey, we're going to take out this entire region because you're all horrifying people.
I think that's a little bit excessive from what I'm saying. I don't think respect is given. I think respect is earned.
Sure, for sure.
At a certain point in time, right? So let me qualify. Is respect is important? Like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, hold the door open for a lady, all of those things. But if that lady turns around and goes, "Listen, you chauvinist cock, don't ever fucking hold the door open for me again," should we say, "I'm sorry, I apologize," or should we say, "You know what? Fuck you, lady"?
Yeah, no, I'm
my mom and dad raised me to be a God-fearing and respectful man, and I'm not ashamed of that. I'm sorry you are. Why don't you go play hide and go fuck yourself? We can't do that.
He would grab her and pull her back out the door and slam it in her face. He probably wouldn't.
No,
He's too nice.
right. I'm not saying we go through when we Molotov cocktail her on her way to her car, but or we turn into a pillar of salt. But like I said, in the Temple of Jerusalem, the merchants and people profiting in the house of God, everyone just thinks Jesus was all about flowing robes and giving people bread and healing them. That's not all it was. And there was a time that I think that evil needs to be faced. And I believe that there are people who are doing exorbitant amounts of evil on our planet, and the let's turn the other cheek, maybe a bit too much of that, and an eye for an eye might be a little bit more of that might be called for. I could be wrong, and if I am, let me know.
I will say this. I mean, I'm a Catholic. I consider myself to be a Christian because I am a follower of Jesus Christ. You can debate that on your own time. For people who disagree with me, however, we are not called to do or be violent in any way. We are supposed to, be the good people, rise above all of that. Now, we're also human, so I don't see anyone who is a true Christian calling for violence. And if there are Christians or people who claim to be Christian that are calling for violence, they either are reading the wrong Bible, they don't understand the Bible, or they've been they're not true Christians. That's just not what we're led to do. But as a human being, I'm all for slapping a bitch when they need to be slapped. Just saying.
Oh, okay. So we do agree. Here is a Christian saying just that. I've got it. It's like, let's go ahead and bring in like Jerry Springer.
I'm not a
pastor.
I'm not like
No, I know, but it's like Jerry Springer. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in some blacks and some Mexicans and some Nazis, and let's go ahead and throw a knife. Do something with a knife. Do something. All right, here it is. Here it is. That wasn't mine, by the way. Listen to this.
And in this nation, I'm worried that we are on the verge of bloodshed. This is an attempt to take us back to a day that we do not want to go, and we will not go. Therefore, there will be conflict. I pray that the peace of God will win out and overcome the madness that is attempting to take over this nation. And I will say to you, beloved, no one likes violence. But sometimes violence is necessary. When Elon Musk forces his way into the United States Treasury and threatens to steal your personal information and your Social Security check, there is the possibility of violence. Sometimes the devil will act so ugly that you have no other choice but to get violent and fight. Well, someone might say, now, Reverend, you shouldn't be talking about violence. This isn't the Christian thing to do. Well, I will say, why not talk this way? Because Jesus did. Jesus said in this key verse, didn't he? The kingdom of heaven suffers what? Violence. And the who? The violent take it by force. The kingdom of God is a war zone. It is a battlefield. You did know this, right?
Go get. All right, who wants to?
I will say something.
Now, I want to clarify. I was not trying to entrap Amy, trying to get Amy's juices flowing so she can go after, salivating, thank you, to go after this guy, because this is the methodology of the left, is because they want us to be violent. They want us to forego God. And I want us to be careful. Sometimes I say things just to get the conversation going. Liv, Amy, hold on to it because I know you got something. Go ahead, Liv.
I don't remember God picking sides in political issues. So any pastor, priest, preacher preaching their political agenda in church, it's completely wrong. And two, that church needs to pay taxes down.
Take his tax status away.
Absolutely. I think that should be on President Trump's agenda, is any church, regardless if they are openly supporting Republicans or openly supporting the Democrats. It is against the law, and any church that is using their pulpit for their political agenda to coerce or to tell their parishioners that they need to vote for a certain person or vote a certain way. And if they don't, they are going to be on God's shit list. They need their tax status taken away. Absolutely. That's the whole point. Separate church and state. Absolutely. Yep. Tax status needs to go. That church needs to be first.
People say people fought the Crusades. It's not God. That's man. Just cuz, appreciate and love you all, Ashley Gleason. Thank you, Ashley.
Ashley.
We feel the same way. $25. A lot has been blamed on Jesus Christ and God because of men's actions. And I'm not saying atrocities haven't taken place. Flipping a table and Jesus calling out people in a place of worship is probably the right of the Son of God to call out those things. But when we say using the Lord's name in vain, isn't saying God or Lord or blaspheming that way. That's blasphemy. Using the Lord's name in vain is bearing false witness and using his name to do so. That is using the Lord's name in vain. And that's what it means. Blasphemy and using the Lord's name in vain are two different things. At least that's my interpretation of it. God told people to put down their swords. The entire ethos of Christianity is love. And it's the only religion on the planet that forgoes all of the other things outside of love. It preaches love. Amy is completely right. The Old Testament, the best way to say it is that we were a godless and soulless man and had to teach us like children how to be. And there was punishment and there was retribution. But the word of Christianity is based in love. And I think it's really important to us not to forget that. And I would just say this, and then I'm going to turn it over to Amy, and I'll shut up and let her finish this because she knows about this much more than I. It's not that you can't stand up to people. It's not that you can't get in their face. But the moment that you forego love inside yourself and love thyself and love your family and love your country and love your fellow man and replace it with hate, you are on a path that is moving away from God. So I think we have to be careful not to lose our identity and lose our souls in this process, even if we're justified. Because there is a time outside this mortal coil, which is eternity, and we don't want to lose our souls in the process. We don't want to surrender the war to win a battle, is my point. Amy, go ahead. Tell me where I'm wrong. Or right, or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. So a couple things. The verse that pastor, if you want to call him a pastor, was quoted incorrectly. I don't know what version of the Bible he's reading, but he didn't put it up there, so it's hard to say where he got that from, but it's not the correct verbiage from any of the Bibles that I quickly skimmed. I read the King James version, the original, not the New King James. I read the original King James version, which has its own issues within itself. But just to go back a little bit here, God created the world. He created it perfectly. And then he handed it over to Satan to run. Like, Satan runs this world, it says it in the Bible tons of times. We are constantly battling evil here. There are several times in the Bible that Jesus says, like, pick up your sword. If you don't have a sword, go get one. Find a sword, sell everything you have to get a sword. Yes. Not because Jesus was saying, I'm going to incite violence. He's not saying we need to go out and kill a bunch of people. He's saying, you're going to be attacked. You're going to have to be in this war. And I'm going to guide you through this war. And that's why every war that is fought in the Bible is won by the good guys, because they listened to God. They listened to the Holy Spirit. They were told, no, don't go this way. You're going to wait here, and then you're going to go this way, and then this is how you win. So there is war. There's a ton of bloodshed. There's a ton of violence in the Bible, but it's all for the greater good. And yes, we didn't know how to live when we were first put on this earth. We were trained up. We are still not getting it right. we probably
better
never
figure it out.
So this pastor, preacher, whatever you want to call him, I don't know. He should, I don't know, like some people, you don't have to go to like seminary school anymore to become a pastor. You can just like start preaching without formal education. And I've been to lots of other churches and things like that. I still like the Catholic Church. There's a lot of formality to it. You have to go through a ton of schooling. And it's a lot of history. And I mean, it's one of my favorite things to talk about with my kids is the Bible and history, because it definitely coincides and there's a lot of life lessons. And just because it talks about it in the Bible people can interpret it
Right.
just like the Catholic Church interprets
Sure.
things, in my opinion, that are not correct. I do not agree with
No.
everything in the Catholic Church. I do have a Catholic Bible, but I still read the King James Version. They are different. So
Elizabeth Hall says, "What's the original Bible?" Lois, $21.10. Your crew is amazing. Keep up the amazing job, Lois. We love you. We appreciate you. You're such a sweetie. There is no original Bible. That's not the way it works. So it's not a single book.
Right.
It's a collection of text from like Aramaic, Greek, and Hebrew, if I believe.
Yes.
So it's not a single book. And when you look at the Old Testament, it's similar to the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. It's Masoretic. Am I saying that right? Masoretic or Masoretic text.
Yes, I'll agree because I don't know, but yes, it's Aramaic was, but I thought it was the original. But then there was other texts that were written later that were in different languages. Yes, it's a combination of all of them. They've been translated for many, many times in many languages, and most translations are pretty accurate, from what I can tell. I have not read all of them clearly, but
right. Yeah, so I believe it's the Masoretic text, and that's Dead Sea Scrolls from the Masoretes or the Masoretes. It's not Masoretes because that's Greek. No, it is Masoretes.
I think it is Masoretes. Yeah.
It's very Greek though, but they're supposed to be Hebrew. So the name is very interesting. The etymology of the word might be Greek because the New Testament was off Greek writings from like 50 to 100 BC AD, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong. I could be right. Somebody quote me, check me. But the point is, the Bible isn't a single creation. It's a conglomeration of different texts. It's 50 to 100 CE. Is what it is. So I'm not going to go into this. I went into this before. Between the difference between CE, BC, AD, is that there's different portions that recognize different timelines and different time periods versus the standard BC and AD, different cultures, etc. So when you're talking about multiple writings, you will use different acronyms for time periods based upon the writing that you're talking about, whether it's Aramaic, whether it's Greek, whether it's Hebrew, etc., etc. So a whole nother conversation. We can get into that later. This was kind of a segue, but a good one that I wanted to do. We'll be right back.
Join Wim Ken.
I thank you, Amy, for walking me through that, and also recognizing that I'm kind of setting you up for something that I knew you'd be really good at hitting. Liv, did you have anything you wanted to add to that at all? Love you. Love your glasses. You look like Lisa Loeb.com. You say.
The social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at wimken.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
Thanks everybody for spending some time. There's an argument here with people saying CB. I believe it's CE, which is Codex Sinaiticus, not CB. Once again, I don't want to get into this right now because I've already done this on this show and I don't want to do it again. And it's going to take us down a rabbit hole and we want to stay on target. But I think it's Codex Sinaiticus, not CB. And what that may stand for, I have no idea what CB would be. Hey, good buddy, CB. Pick it up. 120 Lamb Ducky on 95.6. I don't know what we're talking about. Moving on, we have... Do you guys believe that the left care and want strong women?
No.
Take your time on this, really, because they talk about this all the time. Women can do just what a man can do. We believe in strong women. Do you believe this, that they really, really care about strong women? And if not, why not? Liv, you start.
I do not think they care or want a strong woman. And the reason being is they are trying to erase women. The whole pushing transgender, men and women's sports. The woman of the year was a freaking biological male. It just, everything points at no, they don't. They want you to be obedient and do what you're told and don't have an opinion. That's what I think, in my opinion.
Amy?
Yeah. It's like, look over here, women. We want you to be amazing and shiny and you're the best, but this is what's going on in the back corner here. It's all magic. It's all, I mean, gosh, so many of the Super Bowl ads really stuck in my head about like they're trying to promote women here, but they're doing a really terrible job and they're making it look so much worse for women. It's just bad. I'm sorry. Like, no. Once we took away the housewives and the 1940s, we had to go work, and they put our kids into all day schooling to help with the production. We are a cog in the wheel. That's it. And they're trying to make us look and feel comfortable about it. That's all it is.
Do you think we're watching a show called The Lioness right now? It's an Apple show. It's good. It's it's being the lioness. It's going to be women focused, and the most powerful characters in the show are indeed women. But there's also something about them is that they're not women. They're men. And I think when you lose your femininity, it's just as tragic as losing masculinity in a man. And the one thing, and Nicole Kidman does an incredible job.
Oh, yeah,
And who's the black lady who is just pure sexy?
Zoe Saldana.
Oh, I don't even think she's Mexican or black.
She is. She might be mulatto.
Who gives a shit? She's hot. But they are ruthless, downright, just they've lost their femininity. And to me, I don't think that's what makes a strong woman. I think a strong woman who is able to encapsulate her femininity and still be strong. That can not have to become a man in order to work in a man's world, but can establish that she doesn't have to be masculine, doesn't have to be ill-tempered or curt, that she can have a smile and she can have beauty and grace, but still demand respect and be able to command a room. Isn't that what we're talking about? So do they want strong women, or do they want women who lose their femininity? That is the question, because I'm going to show you two videos, and I want you guys to listen to these, and then you're going to comment on them. They're both fairly short, but about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, because I think, in my opinion, Carolyn Levitt, thank you for the donation, Barbara. Y'all rock. Thank you. You do
Thank
too.
you, Darbra. It's a really...
Barbara.
I just need to go to bed. Holy shit. I am just...
All right, folks. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. Olivia wants to get in the bed, and I'm always game. So I think Carolyn Levitt is probably all those things that I just mentioned. Let's listen. Tell me what you guys think.
Gave us some information on that. We're just wondering if there's some proof, evidence. Is the White House willing to share evidence of those fraud claims, or can Elon Musk come to the briefing room and share material evidence of what he's talking about?
Sure. I would love for Elon Musk to come to the briefing room. That's why we had him go to the Oval Office yesterday, where I think he provided great answers. He was speaking in layman's terms, speaking common sense to all of you in the media, but also to Americans at home. But I would say especially to all of you in the media, because I think it's a real fallacy that there's this alleged lack of transparency when it comes to DOGE. President Trump and Elon Musk have been incredibly transparent on what DOGE is doing. There is an X account with the DOGE handle. They are tweeting out what they are doing on a daily basis. They have a website where they are posting the receipts of the
I'm sorry for the audio quality. It's not us.
contracts that they are reviewing and the payments that they have stopped from going out the door. The secretaries of our departments have stopped from going out the door. And I would also say that before it was Elon Musk making our government efficient and accountable, it was some unnamed bureaucrat that none of you knew. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. He is also now one of the most highly scrutinized men in the world alongside President Trump because of what he's doing and the access that he is allowing. So there's great transparency. As for the actual receipts, we are happy to provide them. And I actually brought some today because all of you know I love to bring the receipts.
I actually have those receipts, and I have even more for the next segment. We're going to move into this real quick.
Regulatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification name server. And Apple has recognized that. Google has recognized that. Pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America. And it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world. Sure.
I don't know. It looks like strength to me. It looks like a strong woman.
She's right up there with Kayleigh McEnerney.
She is.
Yeah.
She's got something. She's got a fire. And as Caitlin Collins, I believe, is the lady that almost has an Adam's apple, who is asking the questions, who isn't good enough because they were actually going to put Jim Acosta there, and Jim quit, so she was the second choice. You know, that's what I would say. If she ever gets too uppity, I'd be like, listen, second choice person, calm down. Is that what a strong woman looks like? Or is it just because she says conservative things, so therefore we practically apply strength to that? Amy?
No, she's so articulate. I'm just comparing her to like the women on The View. Like some of them some of them can be articulate in the way they speak, but most of the time they're not. They're too emotional. And Carolyn Levitt, is that her name? Carolyn Levitt? I don't know, but I love her. She's
Caitlin Collins and Carolyn Levitt.
Yes, so she's just like a doll, and she is a very strong woman. She's well educated. She handles pressure well. She stays cool, calm, and collected. She is what every woman should strive to be. She's well put together. She's beautiful, and not just because she is beautiful, but like she's put together well too. She speaks well. She holds her head up. She doesn't take crap from anyone, and she does it in a graceful way, as a woman should, unlike me. So I'd like to be more like her. Just ready to throw down.
Hold on a second. Glenn? Mods, check on Glenn.
He just popped in on LinkedIn. Why, what's up?
Why is he posting URLs that I have no idea what he's talking about? Guys, I need to find out if Glenn's page has been compromised. Can you guys find out for me ASAP?
Where?
Glenn Clark.
Yeah, was it on?
It's on Facebook.
Oh.
Amy, jump on this fast, and if we need to ban and then reinstate, but I need to know if this is him. He doesn't reply immediately, let me know. He's a mod, and I want that access taken away immediately. Thank you. Let me know if he is. Or anybody else who's on. Oh, that's Hayden.
Sorry, it was a mistake. It was him.
Okay.
Said sorry, it was a mistake.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, holy shit, I don't know what the hell we're talking about. All right, so I think that's enough.
I have an opinion on that.
Oh, you do? Damn
yes.
it. God, see, sorry. Go ahead, baby.
I think...
All right, next segment.
Join Wim Ken.
Just kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Love you.
I'm itching my nose. I think the reason that people look at, in my opinion, the women on the left, they lead with emotions, and it makes them look weak. And when they are like the Jean-Pierre Claire, whatever the fuck her name was. Yes, her. Whenever she was asked a hard question, you could tell she was uncomfortable.
Right.
And you could tell that she didn't like the question, and so she squirmed, and it made her look weak.
Yeah.
And you've got Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you've got Kayleigh McEnerney, you've got Carolyn Levitt now, and anytime they were asked a question, no matter what,
right at it,
they just hit it head on.
Jen Psaki was that way. She beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Like, let me circle back.
Exactly. So, the women on The View, they're all emotional. And they don't bring facts, they bring emotion. And that's where it makes them look weak. They just need to be matter of fact, not matter of emotion.
It's interesting because Amy has probably demonstrated quite a bit of emotion on the show. When we have sad stories, she gets teary-eyed. But probably one of the most emotionally controlled people on the panel, I would say. And when Amy does get hot, and I know I'm talking about like you're not here, so might as well just make that a reality here. There we go. So now they've is very, very good at being rational and being challenged and waiting for people to finish so that she can understand and frame up her response. I don't think you have to lose femininity to be smart. I don't think you have to use a non-monosyllabic vocabulary to be considered intelligent. I think you need to be confident in your own skin. And Jean-Claude Pierre Van Damme did not. Let me be clear, but I'm going to be anything but. Jen Psaki, let me circle back, but never circle back. These people weren't comfortable in their skin. And I don't believe they believed what they were saying. The one thing about Kayleigh McInerney and Sarah Huckabee and now Carolyn Levitt is that they believe what they're saying and they are willing to take you on if you want to challenge them. Just be prepared for the aftermath that will come about. And this was my point. She's not necessarily Christian-like. And she's tough and she's strong and she gives her facts, but she's also not abandoning her principles. And I think that was my point, is that we need to change the way we debate and argue with liberals and dropping the emotional reaction is probably the best thing we can do, because that's what they want. They want you to abandon your principles and take the easy hit so they can get you down to their level and they can say, see, that's not very Christian-like. You're abandoning Jesus. I thought you were a Christian. I thought you were a Republican. I thought you were educated. So my point being is that we used to be the party that would struggle to be considered educated when it came to formal education. I believe that the Republican Party has increased its level of worldly knowledge and understanding of the games that are being played. And we know what it's like to be on the other end of the spectrum when it comes to not being informed and being emotional. And I'm asking us not to regress. Let's not go back to that. Let's not go back to, this is my Bible and it's all I believe in. Forget it. I don't need to talk to you. I'll answer to Jesus. And you're like, okay, you know what? That's not an argument. Let's get back to pointing out their opportunities. Let's point out their fallacies, their logical fallacies, their straw man arguments with facts, with very little emotion. And I promise you, we will raise the level of discourse in this country if we can start doing that. But I just think the time for us to be passive is over. That's my opinion. That's it. Anybody else got anything on this before we get into the heavy potatoes?
Nope.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. We got the big one coming.
Here the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms control.
Thank you, Bobby. Baby hit us 8289 so Matt doesn't stress. Oh, I'm still going to stress because we haven't even got into overtime yet and we hit our goal and now I bet all of it goes to zero. It's all right. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, everybody, for hitting our goal. We love you and thank you. And honestly, we have hit our goal so many freaking times. Maybe tonight is a night that we just $3.53. It's a nice number. Although this was a lot of work, so I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to feel good about that. I'm kidding. We're doing good. Wasteful spending. So I had a conversation last night with everybody, and at the end of the show, I talked about this, that we were going to dive into some of the line item missing numbers and reporting that's been kind of swept under the rug from the U.S. government. I want you to watch this video, and then we're going to talk about these things. And I'm going to try to keep this not boring, so we can talk about each one. Here is the segment I wanted you guys to see, and then we can talk. Here it is.
It's down to.
And thank you for the donations, everybody, and Hit and Goal yet again. It is much appreciated. Here it is.
We received a statement from the DHS regarding the $59 million sent from FEMA to New York City migrants last week. Quote, 4 employees being fired today for circumventing leadership and unilaterally making the egregious payment for hotels for migrants in New York City. There's going to be firings. The names are going to be out. And let's bring in New York Congressman Mike Lower. Congressman, your thought about that move?
Well, it's long overdue, frankly.
Michelle, you're okay. There was a person above you who put CB as well, not just you. So it's totally fine. I'm sorry. I'm going back way into the CECB conversation. You're good, Michelle. Totally.
These funds have been misappropriated going back to the Biden administration. And New York City, a sanctuary city, has been wasting billions of dollars of taxpayer money, billions with a B, to provide free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants, including criminal aliens that are here illegally. And so, I applaud, frankly, DHS for taking action to stop these payments under President Trump's leadership, because we have incentivized cities like New York and states like New York, a sanctuary.
Darla, I don't know where you're getting this. You mentioned gigabytes, codes, Democrats working hard against President Trump. They wanted him killed. What?
She might be talking to somebody else.
Yeah, no, because this is what I talked about. I did mention gigabytes of information and codes. And as far as wanting him killed, I didn't say that. You'll understand in just a minute. Just listen to the video. Thanks.
Free state to allow this to continue, and it has to stop.
Look, it cost New York, and it's a little selfish of us, billions of dollars because the water was wide open for 4 years.
All right, so let's make sure we understand what we were talking about last night. I made a statement that there were gigabytes of data that was removed from line item reports and databases over the years that demonstrate that a paper trail where every single dollar that's spent in Washington, D.C. has to have a receipt. Imagine a giant T&E or expense report. It has to have a receipt. Okay. And they have to be claimed. All gifts, all money over a certain dollar amount have to be claimed. In fact, there is a very large ledger of that is hundreds and hundreds of terabytes long. Every year that senators and legislators and ambassadors receive foreign gifts, they have to be declared. It is my understanding that outside of what DOGE originally did, which was to scrub high-level databases of information for illicit spending that were not accounted for, was done. And these have been exposed here. Most of you probably have heard of none of these. You're going to right now. A lot of people are like, I didn't see the DOGE hearing. A lot of you are like, I didn't see any notes from the closed sessions. Here it is. As far as information being deleted on purpose on reporting, that is a very large process that is going to be explained when I get to the Department of Defense budget. And this is delicate for a few reasons, because a lot of DOD works in the shadows. And a lot of things are not reported. There's Mel right there. Doesn't cover Black Ops expenditures. That is correct. But we also know that USAID has had ties to the CIA and being a front. So certain declarations of dollars is misappropriated. So there's the second phase. And the third phase is missing information of where money went, and the paper trail has been eradicated from the official record. That is the third phase, which we're going to see. And that is when they get into the DOD, where we're going to see the most corruption, and I'll tell you why. So just let me tell you this. Nobody should feel stupid. I don't know. I'm sorry, Matt, my mistake. No, Darla, it's not a mistake. But completely separate, okay? I don't have the smoking gun of Donald Trump's assassination attempts. I don't have a smoking gun of that. What I do is have a list of monies, of where your tax dollars went that you haven't heard about. And I have on good authority that in the third phase of this process that they have already identified gigabytes of information that have been left out or blank or removed from records that has an accreditation towards where those dollars went. That is a cover-up. That is a federal crime. Misappropriation is a completely different crime. But deleting records of where monies went and where it was spent is absolutely, it falls under embezzlement. It falls under RICO laws. It falls, I can't even begin to tell you. Okay? That I do not have for you. I will give you this, that I will follow up and continue to work the sources that I have to find out when that comes out, and I'll present it to you. I'm not ready to do that right now. But what I am ready to do is to present to you the wasteful spending and where this money went from a secondary phase of misappropriation, if that makes sense. Okay?
Yes.
Good. Let's roll. So far, wasteful spending identified by DOGE. Okay? $881 million in terminated federal contracts deemed wasteful. So far, so you're talking almost $1 billion they've identified in contracts that are simply wasteful. $1 billion in eliminated DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion contracts across 25 federal agencies. 1.4, here's some big heavies. $1.4 trillion in unsolicited payments globally. Let me say that again. $1.4 trillion in unsolicited payments globally. What's an unsolicited payment? Hey, Amy, here's $10 billion. Thanks for being Amy. Hey, Livy, here's $25 billion. See you soon.
Why does she get more?
Because she needs to get a boob job.
So do I. Just opposite.
I don't know. You don't need to get a boob job, baby. I love them. More than a handful's of waste. Or a mouthful in this case. $37 billion in general waste and fraud as per the DOGE tracker, which is a system of software that goes in and looks for irregularities, double payments, things like that. $83 billion in government waste corruption, which means, right, so something that is tied to an illicit and illegal transaction. This is where you're going to find the information and people trying to cover their tracks of missing data. $100 billion in waste, in overall waste that is unaccounted for monies.
How much?
$100 billion.
The $100 billion just poof disappeared.
Yeah.
You gotta be fucking joking me.
$26.3 billion identified in 1 week so far in the first week has been unlocatable and unidentifiable. So that is while they've been in office, $26.3 billion was wasted. Just wasted. Here are specific examples. Specific with this gets worse. No. This isn't even the fucking. This isn't even a pimple on the ass of what I'm about to tell you. $520 million for ESG, environmental social governance consults in Africa.
Okay, say that one more time. What?
520 million for ESG, environmental social governance consultants in Africa. 45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma. $47,000 for a transgender opera production.
Hey, you gotta be joking me.
That's needed.
It's true.
Totally.
That's good. Olivia looks great in glasses. Totally. And only glasses. Trust me.
Thanks,
And
Michelle.
a high ponytail. We understand that $50 million for condoms in Gaza is an exaggeration, but reproductive care for various totaling of 16 different countries. And a large amount were for condoms in Gaza, yes, but that money wasn't appropriated. So when the Democrats say, it never happened, you're right, because it was shut down before they did it. $3.7 million for National Institute of Health grants to study gambling behavior in monkeys.
Gambling behavior in monkeys?
Correct.
Yeah, because when we went,
South Carolina.
when we went to Vegas, we saw a lot of monkeys in the casinos.
I think they're trying to demonstrate, here's your food, play a game of simple cards and see if monkeys demonstrate properties of going all in and what their reaction to it is. That's putting them in situations. I'm not kidding. Using banana chips, using food where monkeys can. Listen, look at me. I'm not fucking kidding.
I just feel like if they got away with it for this long, like we have to excuse the monkey one, like that.
I got the shrimp. I got the shrimp on treadmills too. 1.5 million to study if city frogs have different mating calls.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. 1.5 million.
It must be the country ham, city ham thing.
It is 1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, because Serbia really has a lot of diversity. $70,000 for DEI musical production in Ireland called Little Johnny Boy, or Is It a Girl? No, I'm kidding. 1.7 million annually for the Federal Bureau of Advanced Stapler Engineering.
Advanced stapler
I'm not fucking kidding. I'm not kidding. Like some of these, it's really hard.
Can we get our money back? Can we freaking get our tax money back, please? For the love of God.
It sounds like I am totally
like a.
All right, I got a call. Go ahead, caller. Where are you from?
Yeah, hey, I'm calling from Kansas.
All right, Kansas. What do you want to talk about?
USAID.
Okay, let's talk about USAID. Who am I talking to? What's your name?
Trent.
Trent. All right, Trent. Are you a first-time caller? Have you listened to the show before? Or is it your first time?
Just stumbled across you.
All right, buddy. Let's talk about USAID. Go ahead.
Yeah. Repeat after me. Throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Why would I repeat that? I understand the analogy and I understand the euphemism. Why is that something important to me?
So I don't want to see taxpayer money being used for transgender ballet in Slovenia or lesbian poetry in Albania.
Yeah.
There's without a doubt bullshit programs out there that our tax money should not be used towards.
Sure.
How about Head Start? Do you think Head Start's a good program?
Sure.
No. I don't.
No,
Okay,
sure.
well,
No, wait a second. Wait a second. Sure. Do I think it's a good program? Sure. Do you have
Is it worth funding?
Not if there's fraud.
Okay, well, you don't have to worry about it anymore because it's cut. How about dumb
why was
stuff
it cut?
that
Well,
we
hold on. Why
spend money
was
on?
it cut? Trent, why was it cut?
Because all of USAID, there's just like a skeleton crew there. They killed the whole thing.
So
they threw out the baby with the bathwater.
So temporary hold on financing is not a complete abandonment of all programs. Do you believe if there is inherent fraud in USAID and it only represents 1.7% of our entire budget, that it should be...
No, it's 0.6.
Well, hold on a second. Not with the fraud, it's not. You're talking about undisclosed monies. You're talking about dollars that haven't been appropriated properly. You're talking about monies that have been moved outside of USAID or inside USAID, and that's the issue. So when you say it's 0.6, that is if it is following the pencil line veto, and it's not. There's money from CIA black operations that's unaccounted for in there. There's annexation money in there. There is purchasing weapons on the black market in there. There are CIA front companies inside USAID. My problem is not with USAID. It is a small infinitesimal amount compared to the overall budget. But there is waste inside USAID, and we should put a hold on it until we identify what actually is good and bad. Trent, let me ask you a question. You're a smart guy. I know where you're coming from. I understand. Do you believe that the United States is on a path to complete economic collapse? And if so, what's the number we have to hit on our national debt for that to be a reality?
I'm not an economist, so I don't know what that number would be, but
give me a guess.
We are not headed for a good place with a roughly $33 trillion deficit now.
37 trillion.
37. Come on, I was in the ballpark.
Well, yeah, I mean, because with 4 trillion, what does it matter, right? So I'm with you. So 37 trillion. Most economists will tell you that if we hit $50 trillion, that it is the point of no return for the United States of America and an ultimate ending of something like Venezuela without the dictatorship and the tyrannical government. But once people lose 3 hots
well,
in
we
the
have
top,
that already.
Well, do we? With whom? With which government do you speak of? The current administration or previous administration or all administrations?
I didn't mean to send us off on another tangent, but the shit we're seeing is not normal.
What's not normal?
Oh, I don't know. Sending a ketamine addict with a bunch of 20-year-olds with flamethrowers into government agencies. I think it's brilliant.
Are you talking about Elon Musk now? I would assume being what proof do you have or factual data that you have that he is a ketamine addict?
His own words. He takes ketamine periodically.
Does that make I take certain medication periodically? Does that make me an addict?
Ketamine's not a medication.
It's not a medication. It's not used in any way, shape, or form to help people with anxiety and social anxiety. Really? Because
they're doing tests and stuff. They're doing tests with it and stuff. But no, Super K
is it a
or
banned?
whatever.
Is it a banned substance? Is
drug.
it a banned substance by the FDA?
I thought it was. Doesn't it treat some kind of
It's an illegal drug, but they are doing things with it, microdosing and stuff for mental health issues. But it's all
no. There's
in the
also
early
like
stages.
It's
people
more than
can't
that,
move.
yeah.
Like the people that can't physically, like they become like rigor mortis. I don't know.
Let me, Trent. Let me just say this: the saying and the words of "I don't know" is completely acceptable. Ketamine is an absolute FDA approved drug and is controlled by the FDA. You're absolutely 100% wrong. It is not an illicit and illegal substance. It is illegal without you're wrong.
It's FDA,
Trent, you're wrong.
It's FDA
you're wrong.
approved.
Trent, Trent, like all medication that is FDA approved and needs a prescription, if you have it and you do not have a prescription, that's what makes it illegal. The possession of ketamine is an FDA approved and a pharmaceutical product that can be issued. Excuse me. You called the man. No, Trent, we're not on a tangent. You're making false claims and you're saying he's a ketamine addict. And we haven't even gotten to the 19-year-olds. But you guys listen to Greta fucking Thunberg, who's 13, and you want to control world climate change based off of a fucking prepubescent little girl. But this guy brings in people who are smarter than you and I.
You know nothing about me. What are you making that?
Because you're towing the line, Trent. You're towing the line
because
already by the way you talk about Elon Musk.
I'm a libtard?
No, I didn't say you're a lib. I don't never use those words in my life to anybody. Never called anyone a libtard.
And a cult is not. A cult is usually a small group of people, so I think that you're classifying everyone on the right is in a cult, but that your definition is just completely off. Just saying that right off the bat. So
let's go back.
You're on Rumble. Go float around Rumble for 3 minutes, and then tell me Trump and MAGA is not a cult.
First of all, 1,500 people on Rumble. I am on any channel that's willing to watch me. You found me where? Facebook or Rumble? Which one?
Rumble.
Okay. So why are you on Rumble?
I like going on there
you like to troll.
See how effed up the MAGA world is.
Okay, so
I have a question,
Go
Trent.
ahead.
What's your name? Your nickname on Rumble?
I have lots of different ones.
Apparently, have we? Were you just in our chat and get banned?
Could be. I'm not sure.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. He's a troll.
That's fine.
And I'm
I don't
going
care.
to assume that he's
okay,
trolled
time
us
out.
many
Time
times.
out. I love trolls. I got no problem with trolls.
too,
He's been
but I just
somewhat
had a
respectful.
dog with the cult thing. Like, it just pisses
Okay.
me off being called a cult.
Yeah, I know. But I worked for Apple, so I was called a cult with Apple too. So
Yeah, but a cult is a small group of people.
No, but when people called Apple a cult, they're saying that.
I'm sorry, the Republican Party's not a small group of people.
No, they're not. No, they're not. How would you know? Hold on a second. Trent, how would you? Did you work for Apple? Did you work for Apple?
No, but I have friends that. No, but I have friends.
Yeah, and you have black
work in
friends too, so that
Cupertino.
means you're not a racist. Well, I worked for Apple for 5 fucking years, and I guarantee I know more about the company than you could ever possibly. And when they called us a cult, they were dead serious. So you like to pretend that you know everything about every subject, but so far every question I've asked you, you've ducked and dodged. So you're not a very good troll. So maybe you could open up your ears and
So
listen.
getting back to Musk.
Okay, then address him right. Then address him correctly on my show, and I will talk about Elon Musk and anybody. I don't care if it's McConnell. I don't care if it's Joe Biden. Whoever it is, at least address them properly and don't slander them when you know nothing about their personal fucking pharmaceutical needs. Come on, dude. It's weak. It's a weak thing.
Well, speaking of Elon Musk, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but we know how important family values are to MAGA. I think it's great that Elon has 17 kids from 8 different moms.
Yeah, I
values.
don't look at these people for moral and spiritual guidance. I look at hold on, I just got to answer his comment. I don't look for these people for moral and spiritual guidance. Why are you looking for politicians and CEOs for moral and spiritual guidance? Where do you get yours
apparently
from?
We're
Where
not.
do you
I'm
get
old
yours
enough
from?
to remember that.
Are you going to
a
ask the question?
Are
you going to answer the question? Are you going to answer the question? Where do you get your moral and spiritual guidance from?
Generally not politicians, but they need to have some level of ethics and morals.
Then why are you expecting me to get those from those places?
Totally
Excuse me. Why are you expecting me to get those from those places only? If you have that standard, why wouldn't it be that I would probably have that standard too? Why are you assuming I don't?
I'm sorry, I wasn't following that. Repeat that.
That's because you're not listening. Amy, go ahead. It's a waste of breath.
I feel the same way. I let you go, and I'm like, you know what? It's a waste of time. This guy, Trent. Sorry to look at you. Trent, I don't know how old you are. I feel like you're a lot older than me, just by the sound of your voice. But I don't know. I'm just guessing here. To sit here and generalize about our enormous cult, we are killing it, because we have people even in other countries who are supportive of the "Make America Great Again" slogan that we like to say. We won the popular vote, so we win. I don't know. It's a pretty large cult.
It's pretty simple.
No, you
cult.
did.
To compare
I can
Elon
say
Musk, I'm talking now, Trent. So hush up. To compare Elon Musk and his, I don't know how many children he has. I don't keep track of his sexual activity. It's not important to me. But how our government runs our country is. Now, if you want to talk about sexual activity and the inner cities and how we are aborting innocent children and killing them, or the women who have 6 or 7 kids who are on perpetual welfare because of the freaking far leftist Democratic Party who are putting them basically in slavery in the inner cities. Yeah, let's compare that, Trent. We're a cult. Make America great again.
Trent, you asked me not to lump you in with libtards, which is a horrible word. I'm not a big fan. Why are you lumping me in with MAGA and assuming that I am a loyalist to Trump and I peddle Trump's talking points? What?
Because 95% of what's on Rumble is like that. So I'm just making based on odds.
So you're a soy boy, beta, Birkenstock, patchouli wearing, skinny fucking douche plow, right? Is that what I'm supposed to say now? You sound like an educated guy. I don't think you're any of those things. But because you are espousing certain denigrating comments towards me and my political affiliation, immediately I'm not going to do that with you. I've treated you with nothing but respect. I haven't insulted you. I haven't called you any names. You've done no such thing to me, so I don't have a problem with you. What I would appreciate is at least just a decorum in the conversation that shows mutual respect. And that is something that calling me MAGA or calling me, that I'm in a cult, it's nice for scoring political points on Facebook, but it certainly doesn't do much here in a panel which likes to consider ourselves to be somewhat intellectual. So can we stop the grandstanding and jerking each other off and get to the point? What is your problem with Trump?
Sure.
Just straight up.
I don't even know where to begin because
give me one.
You don't want me rambling for the next 3 weeks.
Just give me one. Just give me one. What do you hate the most?
Okay, here's what to me it boils down to. As the descendant of Holocaust survivors, I never understood how exactly did the Nazis get what was at the time the most educated, or one of the most educated, modern, and developed countries in the 1930s. Like how did they get people to believe in such bullshit?
Yeah,
okay,
that's a good point. Good
Never
question.
understood it. Huh?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's a fantastic
So
question.
I could never wrap my head around it. I could never understand it.
Sure. What
I
descendant
now
was,
understand
which camp? Which camp was your descendant in?
Bergen-Belsen.
Bergen-Belsen. What country were they from
Correct.
originally? Because Bergen-Belsen, if I'm not mistaken, it was a translocation camp. So where were they from originally?
Czech Republic.
They were from the Czech Republic.
Czechoslovakia at the time.
Okay, so they weren't Jewish.
Of course they were.
Oh, so they were Jewish.
What do you think? There's no Jews in the Czech Republic?
That's not what you said. I'm asking you if they were Jewish or not, because you understand that there were 6 million people that were murdered, and then there were 5 million people that were murdered, and there were basic ethnicities for one group, and the other was an amalgamation of multiple. I'm asking you if they were Czech or if they were also Jewish. Is that correct? They were Jewish?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you said they weren't Jewish.
No, I'm asking you.
No, they were Jewish.
Okay,
yeah,
so
they were Jewish. Yes, I'm sorry, I misheard you.
So my grandmother wasn't in a camp. She fled in 1938. Her mother did. And her mother was summarily put to death, along with her aunt. And her name was Schwartz. What was your family's last name?
Berger.
Okay. Are you Jewish? And not by association, but you're Jewish. All right. So you and I come from the same place, but I also have the last name of Speer. And if you look up Albert Speer, that's a pretty scary fucking thing. So I can give you perspective from, unfortunately, somebody who has a Nazi in their family and also a Jew. And I tend to side with the Jews. You ask me, how did Nazi Germany, relatively with full Jewish support that ran the treasury, ran most of the government from World War I in the 1908 all the way up until 1930, where we started seeing Adolf Hitler and the descent and the slow matriculation into the Nazi party. How did it happen? Well, it happened with hate and blaming the fall of Germany's supremacy that you're talking about by being castigated with the Japanese at the small kids table for Thanksgiving dinner on the world stage with the Versailles Treaty, and also limiting their military, which is what Germany ultimately identified themselves with, was their military might and strength. And when you essentially emasculated them, which they needed to be, they had to have someone to blame, and the Jews were the obvious choice. That's the answer to your question. Now, my question to you is, how do you feel Donald Trump is doing anything remotely like that pre-1938 and post-1938? Please give me some examples.
One of the pillars of fascism is the what's the word I'm looking for? The demonization of others and foreigners, and he certainly does that.
So how? Give me an example. How? Give me an example of how he demonizes foreigners.
They're sending us all their rapists. They're emptying their jails. They're all murderers and
is that not? No, he didn't say. No, he never. No, wait. He never said they were all murderers. He never said those words. He said that. He said that the MS. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Because you're misquoting him. He said he was speaking See, the interesting is you cut off the 97 seconds before that quote where he was specifically talking about MS-13 and drug gangs. And
No,
you
come
decide,
on.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
no, you
suppose
come
there
on.
are some
Would you like me to
good
pull up the quote? Would you like me to pull up the quote and play the tape? Would you like to talk about very
No,
good
because
people on both
he
sides and
said-
shut you down on this
it's
for the
not-
60
it's not gonna
seconds
come
before and
down to
after?
one thing.
Your
He has
dude,
said
your
it so
CNN
many
talking
times.
points won't work on this show. You don't have the facts.
If you can't acknowledge that he demonizes. Now look,
I
I'm
won't.
not for an open border. I'm for
Yes, you
controlling
are.
controlling
you are.
immigration.
Sure
okay?
you are. You
Immigration
just said immigration control and borders inside countries is fascism, dude. You just said you should. Yes, you fucking did. You want to play back the tape on this too? You just said it's fascism.
I said ultranationalism.
No, you didn't. You didn't say the word ultranationalism. It's the first time you've said the word.
Fascism. Yeah.
I heard fascism.
You said fascism.
We all heard fascism.
You're wrong, Trent. Listen,
If you wanna correct yourself,
you
just
should
say
watch
amen.
my show.
Ultranationalism.
You should watch my show because I'm not like you think I am, and you're making comments that aren't accurate. And buddy, I appreciate you that you're in the fray, but dude, you got to like stop watching what you're watching and take a second and just slow the fuck down. Because
yeah, I know. I listen to mainstream media, and I'm
no, I don't
brainwashed
think you
because
do.
really
I don't
should be
think you
listening to,
do.
like,
I don't think you
I
do,
should be
and neither do
watching
I.
Alex Jones and Stu
No,
Peters and all
fuck
the other
Alex
brain
Jones.
surgeons on
Fuck
Rumble.
Stu
you should
Peters.
do?
He's a fucking fuck Stu. Do you know how many times I went after Stu Peters and Nick Fuentes on this show? Are you fucking kidding me? I had the Groiper army up my asshole for a better part of 6 months. You don't know who you're talking to. You walked into this
I'm not.
fray.
I'm not saying you're like that.
Then why are you bringing it up? Why would you think I would endorse those people and tell you to listen to them?
You were accusing me of where I get my news from.
No,
and
I
was saying,
said you
the
need
names.
to. No,
By the
I
way,
did not.
Since
No, I
since
didn't.
you're not a fan of Alex Jones,
Yeah.
when Trump beat Clinton back in 2016, do you know who he gave his first interview with after he won the election?
Alex Jones.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
What does that say about? What does that say about anyone that would go on that show? And their level of seriousness.
I would challenge the fact that was his first interview, was that he gave it to Alex Jones. I would challenge you on that, because if I'm not mistaken, it was Sean Hannity. But not that that's terribly great either, because Sean
My
is a
understanding
blowhard.
was Alex Jones, and let's say it wasn't the first; it was the 10th.
It very well could have been. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But the question is what are you assigning to Donald Trump's personal choices of how he presents himself and what media he goes on? Because he went on CNN. He's been on MSNBC. He was bushwhacked through the debates. And do you think he's getting a fair shot from mainstream media? So I'm not defending it. What I'm saying is that when you remove legitimate news sources from him, when you ban him from platforms, when you refuse to go ahead and house him properly, where else is he supposed to go? But not that I agree with it, because I think Alex Jones is a dipshit. Completely. I think Stu Peters, did you know I was on Stu Peters' network? 2 shows, and they fucking kicked me off because I challenged his bullshit. Stu Peters is a fucking Nazi punk.
What do you think of Kash Patel going on his show 8 times and then lying to Congress saying, I don't know who he is?
I think that everybody under testimony since the dawn of fucking time has said stupid shit. And if you have not been under 16 hours to 8 hours of rigorous testimony, he also has a problem with his hearing. Did you also watch the whole thing where literally everything anyone said to him, no, come on, man. Let's be fair. Every question, hold on a second. Every question that was asked, he's like, huh? What? So am I saying he didn't hear him? No. Am I saying that he dodged that question? He most certainly did. And he knows who Stu Peters is for sure. But if everything you guys say is Nazi, 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 and that's all you're asking, and that's all you're trying to say, how the fuck do you want him to answer? What question could he have answered properly where you wouldn't have that coy laugh and you wouldn't have that attitude? So I don't know what to tell you, dude. I have went after Kash Patel several times on this show.
In my opinion, going on Stu Peters' show, and I don't know what they talked about when he was on his show.
I do.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Stu Peters' his identity it's like Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart's thing is home and garden. Stu Peters' thing is like Holocaust denialism and white supremacy and Nazis are cool.
All right. So,
all right?
So the
you
same.
don't go on that show.
Okay.
Anyone that goes on that show once,
okay.
it's like disqualifying
Fair
from
enough.
the position of power.
Outstanding. Thank you for the point. Okay, so when Hillary Clinton went on with Louis Farrakhan, you have a problem with that?
I didn't know that she did, but yeah, I would have a severe problem.
Well,
with
then
that.
maybe you should learn more, because you don't think she should be disqualified. Let me ask you a question.
I didn't vote for Hillary, and yeah, if she went on Farrakhan's show, that's despicable.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What do you think about Robert Byrd? What do you think about Strom Thurmond? What do you think about George Wallace? What's one thing they all have in common?
We're going back to the 50s
No. Wait a
60s.
second. You're the one that opened fucking 2016, Trent. So why can't we go back to 2012? Why can't we go back to 2012 and 2014 when he eulogized KKK members? Why can't we go back and do that? Why can't we do that? Go ahead, Amy.
All right, go ahead.
I was just because he's like, why are we going back to 2016 when we're talking? It's like you brought up the Holocaust, you brought up World War II, you brought up fascism. Like, you are just digging this hole, sir. I don't know you.
And Leslie Stahl was his first interview, by the way, big guy.
Yeah. This is just like, Trent, can I just cut
but
this?
he went on Alex Jones.
Trent, what point are you trying to make? Because I'm like,
let's get to it. Because Trent, this isn't the first time you've called. This isn't the first time you've called, Trent. Trent, this isn't the first time you've called my show. Go ahead.
The point is,
am I right? This isn't the first time you've called my show, right or wrong?
I don't know. I've called a lot of.
You've called my show before. Don't play stupid. See, why would you lie? See, now you've lost credibility with me. I'm good with you, but when you lie to me, you think I don't know you. And remember our conversations before? It just went the same way. It went the same way.
No.
Make a point. Make a point. I'm listening.
I really don't know if we've spoken before. If we have, I apologize. I don't remember.
Make a point.
I mean, if I did, I would just acknowledge it. Why would I?
I don't know. I don't know why you say a lot of the things you've said. Make a point, and I'm listening. Make your point right now. I'm listening.
Trump has killed 3 things that's very concerning to me.
I love you.
He has killed decency, he has killed our institutions, and he has killed truth.
That's emotional.
And
that's
I'm not sure how we recover.
It's just drivel.
Yeah, thanks for your opinion. Have a good night.
It's just EQ, IQ, bro. That there's nothing of context there that I can address. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. God bless fucking America. Yeah. But nothing you said is factual. It's all drivel. So anything else?
Again, I could go on for. You want to talk about Trump's? We talked about Kash Patel. We want to talk about Trump's other wonderful. You support his other cabinet picks?
Yes. Which one specifically? Ask me which one I may have contention with that you do, and I'll tell you. Go ahead.
Let's go to Hegseth.
100% support Hegseth. Would fucking stand on the front with him any day of the week.
Were you in the military?
I was.
Okay. And thank you for your service. I have not served. I'm not an expert on the chain of command in the military, the different titles and the structure.
I am. What do you want to know?
I'm sure. Okay. So if I say that Pete Hegseth was fairly low on the totem pole, would that be accurate?
No.
No. If it was a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the Secretary of Defense, 1 being a cadet, and again, there's probably more levels than 10, and it depends on what branch of the service is.
Sure.
But let's just, to keep it simple, let's go 1 to 10. How far up the ladder did he go before becoming Secretary of Defense?
0, because SecDef isn't in the military chain of command in that way. He's a civilian, and that's the only requirement to be Secretary of Defense. Next question.
So the fact that he never managed anything larger than like a Pizza Hut is not concerning to you?
I mean, he did manage things that were larger than a Pizza Hut, but that isn't a qualification of Secretary of Defense.
No, he managed like
Wait a second.
He managed like two veteran groups.
Yep.
Both
have
of
you
which
ever managed? Have you ever
a
managed it? That's not true. There is an amazing letter of reference that actually came through that said that the allegations that were against him were lies. So, and that's the CEO.
He's not a serial philanderer, and he's not an alcoholic either.
I'm saying that he is most assuredly those things by his own admission, and has found Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, and has went through the proper programs and recommitted to his wife, and has been clean, and has more recommendations for him as a human being from a professional and a personal standpoint than you and I ever could accumulate. He also has 2 Bronze Stars, meritorious service in the military, advancement. He has the recommendation. He's had battlefield leadership, and what he fails in large billion-dollar P&Ls. I have all of those things, and I wouldn't be a great SecDef, but I will tell you that he has an immeasurable amount of leadership quality. Works and runs with the SEAL teams and swims the harbor every single year, runs the 9/11 runs, has given more back to PTS and veteran suicide than just about any other person in the celebrity that I've ever seen. Is he the most qualified SecDef?
And he should be commended for all those things.
No, he shouldn't. You just called him a fucking philanderer and an alcoholic.
Do you think the military do you think our military is all woke and all they do is spend 90% of their time on DEI?
Never said those things, and nobody ever said those things. But what I do believe is our military. Excuse me. Did you ask? You asked a question. Would you like me to answer it? You asked a question, Trent. Would you like me to answer it? Do I believe that they? No, I don't believe they do that. Do I believe that our military is completely ineffectual in its mission and its overall theater of operations in many facets? Yes, including everything but the United States Marine Corps, but also has some very serious issues with its overall morale and its overall mission objectives. And I do believe that DEI most assuredly is the main reason for this, because it is a selective service. It is the only place where actual prejudice is allowed in any type of job at any level in the world today. And the reason why is because it is a selective service, and we must have the very best of the best. And filling quotas based upon people's penises and their fucking religion and their color is not what the military is about. Okay? So, yeah, I think DEI is shit. It's all about meritocracy in the military, and that's the way it should be. Next
what
question.
Do you think of... I lost my train of thought. Hegseth's support of Eddie Gallagher.
I think Eddie Gallagher... First of all, I don't speak on any SEAL team. I have too many friends on the teams. So, and it's not a chicken shit move. It's because the good and the bad, I try to stay away. I try not to comment on Marcus Luttrell. I try not to comment on Jesse Ventura and the Chris Kyle situation. I know Tyler Kyle. I've met Jesse Ventura. I've met Marcus Luttrell. I've met Dan Crenshaw. One of them, a good Eli Crane, who is the House of Representatives right now, is a friend of the show. I will tell you this. People ask me, is Eddie Gallagher, was he guilty of what they accused of him? And I will say most assuredly he was. And he openly admitted it in a podcast.
Or was not? Was, okay.
Yep, and he openly admitted on a podcast. And I will tell you this, that man, if you want to look at his military career versus the harm, and I do not agree with him shooting women and fucking putting rounds in kids. I'm talking about the medical treatment of a enemy combatant, a terrorist, who was in their care for medical treatment. Did he torture and end his life? I believe, based upon his admission on a podcast, on a video podcast at the end of the Netflix special, and anybody who watched the podcast will tell you that he admitted to those things. And I don't fucking care. Until you have stood,
he admitted, or you don't care that Hegseth
I don't care. I am not going to question his service of protecting this country and the things that he did against people who want to kill you and kill me and has killed friends of mine and blown their fucking limbs off. Terrorists deserve one fate: death. Every fucking one of them on the planet.
Look, I haven't served. I haven't been put under those kind of pressures or anything near it. So I don't want to even try to say how I would act or handle it.
You got to go.
With that said, if we had our military members all acting like Eddie Gallagher, that would not be a good thing.
I never said it would be, but I'm not going to question 29 years of dedicated service from a master chief who is more decorated than just about any other team member. He's a hard fucking charger. The guy has seen things that I can't even imagine. And should he spend the rest of his life in jail for something? No. The guy's a fucking terrorist. I don't care if he's a 17-year-old kid. I don't care if, anything about that. War is hell. And those guys were fighting with one arm tied behind their back. And thank God that Donald Trump came in 2016 and ended the caliphate. And they spread out all over Europe. And we know because of shitty borders that you call fascism has now re-engaged ISIS, ISIS-K, the Houthis, the IRGC, the MJB, and every other fucking terrorist group in this country. Now he's got to go and fucking kill them all again. So I don't know what to tell you, brother.
And having the Afghan government release 5,000 Taliban, that surely helped things, right?
No, but if it stopped one of our soldiers from getting killed for 18 fucking months, I'm okay with it. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. So you can bitch and complain, but U.S. soldiers are more important to me than fucking Taliban. Trent,
could you make
Trent,
the
can I say something?
Argument?
Yes, I can make any argument, and I've proven it in our conversation. Trent, listen to me. You're coming in here and you fucking bat a 249 against somebody who has a 101 mile per hour fastball. You're not going to hit my fucking pitches. You're not going to be able to. So stop trying and let's have a real conversation. Why do you hate Trump?
I've told you, he killed the three things that I mentioned. He has brought out of our society, it used to be that if you thought the earth was flat and you thought the moon was made of cream cheese, you were shunned by polite society. Today, you have a show on Rumble, you have 1 million followers, you're in Congress, you have an audience of Donald Trump. He enabled, if you think crazy shit, hey, that's great. We should all respect everyone who believes crazy fucking shit.
No, we shouldn't.
Which was one of the kind of the hallmarks of what the Nazis did with pushing conspiracies and bullshit out there. And
they didn't push conspiracies.
Yeah, I mean, Trump's rewriting history. Like,
Amy, all right. Amy wants to talk. The lady wants to talk. Let's let the lady
I have
speak.
a question. When did you tune in? Did you actually see our segment on how the left, if they truly respect women and like the emasculation of men and the removing femininity?
I'm not here to defend the left. Do you think I look at Columbia University and what went on?
Wait, did you hear my question?
That's what I really like.
Let her finish.
I think you're actually proving our
Trent.
point from our segment earlier. Did you see that segment?
I don't think you did.
Okay. So I think here's my just personal advice. We had a question from a listener too. They wanted to know where they could find your show.
I'm sorry, what was it? Where
Trent,
they can find my show?
Our listeners want to know where they can find your show.
Yeah.
It's on Rumble at 3 a.m. on Tuesday mornings.
Great.
I don't have a Rumble
Fair enough.
show.
Okay, so I do encourage you to go watch our segment on basically the erasure of women by the far left. I'm assuming you are far left. I don't know. You haven't really said a lot.
No.
Great. So where does your political?
It's just
where does
like
your
you
political
haven't said a lot,
ideology
Trent.
lie, dude?
I don't
Stop
usually
hiding.
get like bored on this show. I don't think I've ever actually been bored on this show. I'm like, and I know I'm on
Go spend time with the kids and let me handle Trent. I love you. Get out of here. We'll get you out of here. And
you want to get a feel for my political leanings?
No, she doesn't care.
Spend some time on
Amy,
the website, the
Amy doesn't really fucking care.
You ever
Trent.
been on the Bull? You ever go to the Bulwark website?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I do.
So Trent,
Good night, guys.
Amy,
love y'all.
love you, Ames. See you, kiddo. You lost my wife and you lost Amy, not because you're some sort of intellectual giant. It's because you're boring them, dude, and that's okay. Boring women is a tough thing to figure out how not to do. Trent, I'm still trying to figure out. You haven't given me any specifics. Do you hate Donald Trump?
Oh, I despise him.
No.
Without
do you hate him? Do you hate him?
Do I? I despise him. Like,
okay,
despise
but
is
that's
kind of like a stronger word than hate.
No, it's not. There's nothing stronger hate him. It's the absence
Okay, then
of
I
love.
hate him. I hate him.
Do you want him to die? Do you want him to die?
I know. I just don't like his mean tweets.
Do you want him to die?
Wouldn't be the worst thing.
Okay, so we're good. So our conversation is never going to get.
For someone who never exercises and eats like shit.
Okay, all right. So I've already muted you, so they can't hear you anymore. You're not going to talk over me because that's not the way this works. So stop, and then we can start again. if you want someone to die because you hate them so much, then you are so emotionally involved that you and I can't have a conversation that is going to benefit either of us. It's a waste of time. I will never convince you of anything, and you're incapable of convincing me because I really like to deal with fact versus emotion. I don't like to do this whole I hate Trump, so therefore I'm on the moral high ground. If you can't admit that there's not a single lick of value in Donald Trump, then you and I can't have a conversation. Because I can tell you the good things that Joe Biden did. I can tell you the redeemable qualities of Hillary Clinton, but you can't tell me one fucking thing that Donald Trump did right. Is that correct?
There are things he did right, but
name one.
He is one of.
Name
if
one.
you look at his track record going all the way back to when he first came onto the scene, he is a pretty despicable and horrible human being.
Name one thing he did right. Name one thing he did right.
I like this fact that he supports Israel. However, I would make the argument.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Let me make sure I understand this. He's a Nazi fascist who supports Israel?
No. See, okay.
That doesn't make much sense, does it?
Trump. Okay, well, let me explain.
Okay. And then you could tell me how he's fascist against Mexicans after renegotiating NAFTA, which was lopsided, and gave them USMCA, which was a better trade deal for Mexico, and has ultimately made them our third biggest trading partner and ultimately will be first by the next 10 years if they don't fuck it up with tariffs. You can tell me how that's fascist. But please explain to me how he is the worst Nazi in history, period, full stop.
He's not a Nazi, but he has Nazi-like characteristics.
Then why is everyone calling him a Nazi? And why aren't you defending him if they are? You're a Jew. Why the fuck would you allow the media and all these people to call him a Nazi?
Because
you know better.
Because he has characteristics that are similar to, whether it's demonizing the media and other institutions.
You don't think the media deserves to be? You don't think the media deserves to be demonized a little bit?
Not the way he does.
Why? How would you like to do it?
If you look at any book on autocracy and dictatorship, and they do these profiles of dictators and autocrats,
I've seen them. Yep.
Like Trump checks like every friggin' box.
Okay, so every frickin' box.
Most of the boxes.
No, wait a second. You just said every box. Do you know that most people with A-type personalities actually align with malignant personality disorder, also narcissism and psychotic behavior? Does that mean that everybody who does it is Ted Bundy? Everybody who's an alpha personality? Everyone who is a CEO or has self-importance? Most of these guys do. They've got this chip on their shoulder that their shit doesn't stink. And it could be small penis syndrome. It could be small hands or the way he drinks water. I don't fucking know. I don't care. Anyone
Trump's
who compares
Trump's narcissism makes Obama and others look humble.
Obama wasn't a narcissist.
Obama wasn't. A lot of people no. Well, you got to have a certain level of narcissism to run for president.
No. I don't think Obama was a narcissist. I think Obama was a classic divider who believed that his presidency was.
I don't want to get into Obama.
Wait, well, then why did you fucking bring him up? Then why the fuck did you bring him up, Trent? If you don't want to talk about it, then why are you talking about it?
Getting back to Trump.
No. Getting back to, listen, this isn't where you get to just go ahead and just fucking do drive-bys and say whatever you want. And then when I try to counteract the point or give my opinion, you just get to shut me down. It's just not going to happen, bro. You haven't earned enough credibility with me to roll me over. You haven't done it yet. You said Obama was a narcissist. I vehemently disagree with you. I think he was one of the best orators of our time. I'll put him up there with Winston Churchill and Ronald Reagan. Obama was a very affable and affluent human being, and his charisma was off the fucking chart. But Hitler was too. So I guess I can call him Hitler-like because he was a great orator and he had charisma that charmed an entire country into killing a group of people. So is it that Obama's Hitler-like, or is it Donald Trump? Would you like to go ahead and break down every other president in the last fucking 100 years, and I can tell you how they all have similarities to Hitler?
No, I'd rather not go through that exercise.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
But Trump, the guy is just. Even,
you don't like him.
You know,
you don't like him. You don't like him.
You hear the stories when he was a landlord
like
and he would stiff contractors and
contractors deserve to be stiff sometime. I worked in construction. Trust me, some of them are fucking cocksuckers. They deserve it.
Right.
They deserve it. They don't do the job. They don't show up. They do no-call jobs.
You ever read the story about? You read the story about Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I have to dig it up. I'll shoot you an email.
Are you talking about the guy that was supposed to design the piano, or the tile guy, or who did the Italian laid tile and the marble? Yeah, I've heard about both.
The guest of his, the member, the older gentleman that falls during a banquet or something, and hits his head, and is bleeding from his head, and the blood gets around and stuff.
Yeah.
And they help him up, and and Trump, like again, I'm paraphrasing, but Trump was kind of like, get this guy out of here. I don't want this blood all over. Someone clean this up. Like, why did this have to happen now? Like, he had no empathy for this gentleman as a member of his club.
Yeah, your anecdotal stories are really great, but. Hey, isn't it kind of like, and oh my God, and then he said, aren't really factual. You're talking about Howard Stern. It was a 2008 interview. He also talked about the beauty pageant going in the room. And oh, God forbid that a fucking person went on to Howard Stern and said some really stupid, repugnant shit. If only that wasn't a prerequisite to get booked on Howard Stern. Would you like me to show you Star Trek Sulu, who grabbed the man's cock live on the show? And he sits there and act all magnanimous. And it's interesting that he loves liberals, but his fucking liberal usurpers and gods put him in a Japanese internment camp. But whatever. I mean, we're just splitting hairs. Dude, this is not anything. You just don't like... No, but it doesn't matter. It's a qualification as a human being. You said that the morals of a person are very, very important, and how they carry themselves and their honor is important, right? Paraphrasing what you said. So why is it important for the president but not every single other person? And speaking of morals and integrity, you've just laid a mountain of bullshit in this entire conversation, which makes me question your morals and integrity. So why do you get to go ahead and project on that mountain Sinai of on high and talk down to all of us presidents, including Donald Trump, when you don't even hold the same characteristics that you expect of him? Yeah. Trent, it's been fun.
Yeah,
it was fun the last time we talked.
You're right. You're right. You know what? I've been blinded. Trump is a great guy.
No. I didn't say any of those things. What I said is the way that you characterize him are based off of emotions and not fact. I don't use him as my spiritual leader. I don't hold him as a person who I emulate.
How about him releasing all the J6 hostages from the gulag? Is that me being emotional, or is that a fact?
Let me ask you a question. It's a great question. I'm going to do the one thing I usually don't do. I usually answer it straight out. But can I ask a qualifying question first?
Sure.
What's the standard sentence in the United States for assaulting a police officer?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, usually it's about 6.5 months. Do you believe that the worst crime committed there, vandalism, misdemeanors, felonies, trespassing, destruction of public property, that some of the worst were assaulting police officers physically? That was probably
it was a day of love, you know. So
no, I didn't say that. Once again, listen, Trent, you can keep deflecting. But you're not gonna. You know why? Because I'm about to go ahead and demonstrate why you're a fucking hypocrite, and now you're gonna start cracking jokes. I'm asking you. Standard sentencing for physical violence against a police officer, resisting arrest, or abusing an officer, those things, how long should a person serve?
Okay, so you're telling me it's 6 months. Okay, I'll take that.
No, I said on average nationally is 6 months. There are some who have done far worse who are in jail for 10 years. I'm telling you on average, which is what precedent usually states. And what judges do is they collect all cases and all sentences. Excuse me, I'm not done. I'm not done talking, Trent. I'm not done talking yet. And I've let you talk.
All right, go ahead.
I let you talk. So what you're saying is because of your emotional attachment to the people in J6 is what I'm assuming. I don't know if this is what you're saying. I'm trying to understand. The reason why you believe that these people who committed atrocities, and I am 100% in alignment with you, that anyone that had any violent nature or intent should spend time in prison for their actions. Will you also agree that those people serve the time of 4 years plus is more than adequate for the most serious crime that was committed that day? Yes or no?
I don't. I lean towards no.
Why? So you believe that you want to, because emotionally, then you think people should be punished more for a crime than the standard or what is normal in the criminal justice system because of a personal vendetta. So you have a lot of commonality with fascism, my friend, because that is fucking fascism. Wait a second. No, you don't get to fucking dodge it, dude. You don't get to dodge it because you just gave me the principal fucking pillar of fascism, which is to arrest and hold people without due process. And you're going to sit here with a straight face and tell me
they were all convicted in a court.
No. Due process is the beginning, middle, and end. It's not just the trial. It's just not the pretrial. It's just not habeas corpus. If you are sentenced to a term and you have fulfilled that obligation and later to be found that it was an exuberant amount of time or an unjust penalty, then that is fascism, because that is not habeas corpus. That is retribution, and that is incarceration, and is absolutely 100% against the Constitution of the United States and state law to punish somebody who did not commit a crime worthy of the time. And you're going to sit here with a straight face and say that those people didn't serve the time committed that they were obligated to serve? They did. I'm not saying they should be idolized. I'm saying that those people, and most of them, were held for no reason. Some of those people didn't even go into the fucking Capitol that day. Some people were tourists in that motherfucker. And I've seen the video.
Like Enrique Tarrio wasn't.
Enrique Tarrio wasn't even in the fucking state. He wasn't even in the state. Excuse me. He wasn't even in the district. He wasn't in the district. I want to make sure you don't throw that back at me because DC is not a state. He wasn't even in the District of Columbia that day. Give me a fucking break.
If I plan a bank robbery in California, and I do all the coordination and planning, and other people prove that actually do the bank robbery,
you got to prove it.
I can't be guilty.
You got to prove it in the court of law.
They did.
No, they approved association.
They did. Really?
No. Did he fund it? Financially, did he back it?
I don't know the details.
No. Well, then shut up. Then don't fucking talk, Trent. Trent, then don't talk. You just openly admitted you don't know what you're talking about. He had communications through IRC and back channel apps like WhatsApp. He told people, go in, go for it. He served that time. Should he be in longer? Probably. That's why some of these sentences were commuted. I'm not saying that I agree with what he did. What I'm saying is that most of the people who were thrown in jail for J6 have filled their fulfillment to society. Their obligation to society is paid. They should be out of prison. Those fucking sentencings were a joke. They held them as domestic terrorists. They suspended habeas corpus. They kept them in fucking solitary confinement without a lawyer, without any rights, for months and years at a time. And if you think I'm lying, it's because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not going to sit here. Patriots. I didn't say that. I just called them criminals. Every single one of them that was sentenced to jail by a jury of their peers has been found guilty, and they were pardoned. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just trying to explain to you that they certainly no. We're not on the same. We're not even remotely close to the same.
Okay.
So you're going to tell me that was a coup d'état. You're going to tell me that people died. How many people died? How many law enforcement officers died that day? You tell me.
Again, I don't think it's coincidental that a bunch
How many died? How many
3 or
died?
4 weeks later.
You know what? Cops take their life all the time. We have 22 veterans who commit suicide a day. The second biggest
on,
demographic are police
come on.
officers. You don't know it because you don't care about it. 22 vets kill themselves a day. Cops are the second biggest demographic. And then it's middle-aged young men. Middle-aged 35 years old. So I don't know what to tell you, dude, but you're going to sit here and pretend that cops don't commit
And Brian
suicide.
Sicknick,
They do.
I know he died of natural causes.
Do you know him? Do you know him? I do. You ever met him?
Brian Sicknick? No, I don't.
You ever met him?
How would I know him?
You know, well, then maybe you shouldn't talk about it because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about here again. There is
I
no
shouldn't talk about it. I'm just
because
judging it based on what
you're
I've heard in the
disparaging somebody who I personally know. You're disparaging
I'm not-
somebody
how did
who
I
did
just
not.
disparage-
You
how did I
are.
just
You're
disparage-
lying
how
about
did I
his
just
death.
disparage him?
You're lying about his death, Trent. You're lying about his death.
I'm saying they ruled it to be that he. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I will.
The coroner. I don't agree with it, but the coroner deemed that it was, I think, a stroke or something. It was natural causes the day after J6. I
Yes.
find that highly coincidental. But
So
who am I to
so you're a
second-guess the
conspiracy
coroner?
theorist. Do you believe that the moon is made of cream cheese and that the Earth is flat too? Conspiracy theorist guy. So the coroner fraudulently did the records. The coroner. So is it cream cheese or is it Swiss cheese that you believe in, Mr. Conspiracy Guy?
Munster.
You don't
did
like
I-
your own words thrown back at you. The reason why is because the
How did I
elephant memory
how
is
did
in
I
full effect.
disparage Brian Sicknick.
Because you misconstrued the way he died. You lied. You said that the result
What
of his
did I
injuries
lie?
from
I just told you
you
what the
just
general
said that the
narrative is,
result
and
of
that's
his
what my
injuries,
understanding
you subtly provided an innuendo and you subtly stated that January 6th was the result of his death, and it's not. It has nothing to do with it. He was up and walking around after his event. Do you know that? Do you know I can show you 3 hours of video where he was shuffling and guiding people left and right and back and forth?
Okay, but couldn't someone die of their injuries later?
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. If my grandmother had balls, she'd be my grandfather, according to the Liberal Party, but it doesn't mean it makes it true.
My Liberal Party, right?
Dude, you're a fucking liberal. You're a fucking liberal, Trent. We discussed this the last time when you said you weren't a liberal. You're a liberal. Why won't you come out of the closet and just admit it? There's nothing wrong. Do you understand that conservatives are liberal
you
too?
figured it out. I love Ilhan Omar. And
She's not a liberal. She's not a liberal though. She's a progressive socialist. There's a very big fucking difference. There's nothing wrong with classic liberalism. You understand that, right? Because that's what Republican was a foundation of, and conservatism. We came from the same principles. Ilhan Omar isn't a fucking liberal, bro. She's an anti-American. You know she's anti-American. How many fucking times?
Oh yeah,
are you gonna have?
I'm being sarcastic when I say you call me a liberal. I said,
Okay,
yeah,
so
I
tell
love,
me. So tell me a let me ask the question. Tell me a liberal inside the Democratic Party right now. Just give me a liberal, somebody who is liberal. Give me one person that you would define as a blue-collar Democrat.
I would presume that Maxine Waters could be deemed liberal.
Not in a fucking
and
world.
Old and confused.
Progressive socialist, 120%. Her voting record states. Can you tell me a conservative in the Republican Party, a true conservative, fiscal conservative Christian values? Can you give me one?
True conservative in the Republican Party.
Yep, true conservative.
When he's not supporting Trump and he's not throwing his own values out the window, I would say Tom Cotton. But he loves his job more than the truth, so he does what he has to do.
So let me see if I got this framework, this psychological profile. It's been a while. It's been like almost 28 years. You're anti-government. Fair?
I am.
You sound like it. You don't like any politician. You don't like any political party. You have not defended or stood on anyone's values. You don't like presidential candidates. You didn't vote for Hillary, which means you didn't vote for Donald Trump. You don't like Biden, I'm assuming.
Johnson.
Okay, so you're a libertarian. Is that it?
No, for that election, it was just a matter I couldn't vote for Hillary or Trump.
Wouldn't it shock you that I didn't vote for Hillary or Trump either?
No.
That wouldn't shock you?
You're telling me you're not a hardcore Trumper.
No, I didn't say I'm not a hardcore.
I voted for Hillary.
I didn't vote for either. Because I didn't believe this is
so
why.
I'm not shocked.
Okay, well, I'm shocked that you're not shocked because here's why. It's because I didn't believe what Trump said because he was a lifelong Democrat, and I didn't believe Hillary Clinton because I knew she wasn't a true progressive. So I didn't believe either of them. And lo and behold, I loved Trump up until 2020, August. And then I thought he had the worst back half of a presidency of any president in U.S. history. And a lot of it had to do with COVID, but his handling of COVID was not impressive to me. The first 3 months were. January and March.
I can agree with you there.
January, March was
fantastic. You don't think it was right to say it's going to be gone by Easter. It'll be very.
And you don't
beautiful.
think it's right to say that the NIH didn't release memos that said that most severe of cases of SARS, COVID, and these type of upper respiratory diseases usually do disappear by the summer? Listen, I'm not saying that he's perfect. I'm not saying he said all the right things. But his first 3 months, he had a 73% approval on COVID. He was doing well. Then he went up on stage when he got it and fucking ostracized himself versus the women of America, and it's why he lost 2020. One of the main reasons he lost 2020. We can do
How do you like the fact that the CDC right now is not allowed to say anything about bird flu? He's like completely put electrical tape over their mouths.
Not to go back in the past, but they didn't say anything about H1N1 in 2014 and 16. And how many hundreds of thousands of people died under Obama, and they didn't say anything either. Why didn't Obama say anything? Because I'm asking a question. Why was H1N1 and the bird flu not talked about 2014, 2015? Hundreds of thousands of people died. In fact, more people died of that than tuberculosis. Why didn't Obama say anything?
Don't know.
Because it wasn't considered to be a global crisis or a national crisis. Because it didn't reach that state yet. And the last thing Donald Trump wants to do is to have the fucking Democrats run on that and literally make it nothing but that. You and I both know that flus are very, very common, and different variations of the flus hit us every single year. And yes, bird flu is serious, and yes, mad cow disease is serious, and yes, HIV is serious, and yes, hepatitis is serious, and so is TB. But what the CDC literally fucking puts in our bodies every single fucking year, making a random crapshoot to see if they get the right flu string, I'm sorry, dude, I don't fucking want it. And I'm not anti-vax at all. I just don't want that level of control.
I'm vaxxed and boosted, and the whole thing.
Well, then you're a
and
libertarian.
My head hasn't rolled off my body.
I understand, but there are several people who have had adverse reactions to this, and more than they said. And the studies have found that they have left a lot of data out of the vaccines because, like original reaction to COVID, they didn't fucking know, and they were guessing. Dude, polio killed 50% of the people.
Question for you pertaining to Trump. When COVID came about, and this speaks to Trump's character or lack thereof. When COVID came about, what was Trump's biggest major concern? The safety of the population or his chances of reelection?
He already had reelection in the bag before COVID, so that's a stupid question.
Oh, no, he would, but he was smart enough to know that something like a pandemic could rob him of, and it did.
Let me explain.
And I'm saying,
let me explain
what was
something.
His biggest concern?
I think it was the
safety of people or his reelection.
I think the American people had to be his concern. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done what he did. Now, I don't know because I don't know what's in Trump's head. But I can tell you the poll numbers said that he had nothing to worry about. Nothing. And he would have mopped the floor with anybody if it wasn't for COVID. He had record unemployment. We can go into every single demographic. We can talk about inflation. We can talk about the valuation of the dollar, the stock market, the Abraham Accords, peace treaties, NAFTA, USMCA. I can go on all fucking day about what he did. And he crushed. And he's doing that now again. But I can also tell you that the guy was out there 3 hours every single night for 42 days in a row. And he addressed the American people with his team. And Fauci was there too. And yes, I remember he gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I know all of these things. I don't like fucking Fauci. And I thought, once again, Donald Trump didn't handle COVID the way he should in the back half of the year. But what I'm trying to say to you is that he did everything that Biden and Obama and every other fucking president didn't do. He spoke to the American people till 7 o'clock every single night for the first 41 days. He gave us as much information as we can. And the fucking media that you want to say is, I don't know what, because I think they absolutely should be criticized and ridiculed for everything, said that he said to inject bleach with a needle. You and I both
No, what
know
they said,
that's not what he
I
said.
know it was disinfectant.
And if anyone knows, there have been several tests with injecting a disinfectant underneath the first 3 levels of skin into the fatty cells. There has been bleach washes done since the fucking Civil War, and actually after the Civil
And I'm sure
War.
that's what Trump. And I'm sure that's what the
No,
renowned
I think the
scholar
guy
Trump was
spoke. I
thinking of when he
think the
said that.
guy fucking says shit sometimes, and at least he's not doing political talk. At least he's just fucking trying to communicate with the people. Once again, you can't get past your own hatred for the guy. This is just me banging my head against the wall. I'm not going to convince you on anything good about Trump because you don't even know what's good about him. You can't still say anything good about him.
I told you before, I like the fact he has been very pro-Israel. But
yeah, but you called him a fascist.
I don't believe it's because he cares about Israel. He cares about the evangelical vote. If the evangelicals came out tomorrow and said, we just got an email from the Messiah, he's not coming to the Holy Land. He's coming to Montenegro. And they said, we no longer care about Israel. It's Montenegro we're consumed with. Trump would be like, okay, I'm all for Montenegro now. Like he's all about what's in it for him. I'm glad he's been very pro-Israel, but I wouldn't trust him any further. Like,
vote.
Pick him up and throw him.
The Jews don't vote Republican, and he didn't get him in 20. Hold on a second. Let me finish. He didn't get him in 2020. He lost the Jews in 2020. Jews vote predominantly for Democrats, around 79%.
I know.
Okay.
But this last election, October 7th was.
Yeah, but
was
all
one of the
those
best
things
that
were
ever
done.
happened for
What
Trump.
did he do? What did he do when he was out of office for Israel? Nothing. It was all beforehand. So you're saying 4 years ahead of time, he planned on doing good things for Israel, going ahead and doing the Abraham Accords, negotiating the Abraham Accord through Saudi Arabia, recognizing Jerusalem, not focusing on the two-state solution, moving the embassy, using Florida law to protect Jews in Florida from anti-Semitic behavior. He did that 4.5 years before he decided to go ahead and lose and then rerun for president. Come on, dude. Trent, seriously? Your shit just completely fucking, it fails the litmus test and it just smells like shit. It's a stupid argument. He supported Jews from day one.
You know what? My contact lenses are bothering me and I got to get them out.
Okay.
It's been very nice talking to you. I guess we've spoken before, you say, so.
We have. It went very similar to this. It's nice meeting you, Trent. You're not a bad dude. I like your conversations. I hope you call in again, and then maybe we can actually have a topic that you truly care about versus I hate Trump, because I think you're better than that, dude. Talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Bye. I haven't done that in a while. That was fun. How many people we got? Holy shit. You guys stayed for that? What the fuck's wrong with you? I'm going to finish this up. I have to. 1.2 million annually for the National Institute for Memo Formatting Standards. $1.2 million for secretarial and dictation and formatting standards. Oh, Chris Minton says, I stumbled on your show and I love it. I shared it with my boys. I have to say my mom is the same way. Trent is so sad. Trent isn't sad. Trent is he's a smart guy. He's a nice guy. He's not an evil person. I think he's disenfranchised with government, and I think he has a lot of opinions that he doesn't know how to express because he just repeats the shit that's low-hanging fruit that most people don't know how to combat. I've been doing this shit. My liberal kung fu is fantastic, and he's not a libertarian. He may be a constitutionalist. No, fuck that. He's not a constitutionalist. He's a libertarian, but definitely socially very liberal. Thanks, Charity. It's not my first fucking rodeo. He's not a bad guy. I'm not going to speak ill of him. Whatever. So we disagree. And when he was being a douche, I let him know. By the way, folks, donations are still open if you haven't had a chance to do it. We are in some serious in overtime tonight, and I would appreciate it if we could help the old 318 is where we're at. If anyone else has, hey, that was really good, Matt. You stayed on for an hour and 30 minutes extra. Maybe we can help out the old piggy bank. I would really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys liked it. $800,000 for studying the psychological effects of paperclip. organization. Now, do I believe that the United States government spent $800,000 on paperclip organization? No, absolutely not. Do I believe that's what it was titled? How much was it? Who was it? Annie Putnam, thank you for the donation. We missed it. I'm sorry, hun. Hold on. I got to get the window up. Hold on, honey. Okay, it's up now. Go ahead. How much? And what did she say? Matt, you rock. Damn Skippy, Annie. Here, right on Matt. Okay. All right, here we go. Additional wasteful expenditures: $25.2 million from canceling 21 contracts at the Treasury, $145 million for cutting 16 DEI contracts across various departments like labor, transportation, agricultural, commerce, HHS, and Treasury. $3 million for girls-centered climate change programs. $3 million. $447,000 per household in 2023 federal spending, with specific examples listed right here. Failed audits. This is the big one. This is the one I wanted you guys to hear. So thanks for staying with me. Failed audits. The DOD has constantly failed to pass its annual financial audits over the last 3 decades. This has been a reoccurring issue, with the most recent reports highlighting. In 2022, the DOD failed its 5th audit, unable to account for 61% of its $3.5 trillion in assets. You guys haven't heard that, I'm assuming. 61% of 3.5 trillion. 21 CJ. Oh my God, I truly love the way you tear trolls about. Thank you for making me feel better, CJ. I love you, buddy. $21.10. You the man. Thanks, guys. The money helps. In 2023, it failed its 6th audit, unable to account for 63% of its $4 trillion in assets. 63%. $2 trillion is 50. You're looking at $2.7 trillion, $2.8 trillion. No idea where the money went. Did you hear me? Are you listening? Right there, there's $5.5 trillion missing from the defense budget in 2 years. Folks, we are being robbed the fuck blind. 2024, the 7th audit failure was reported, indicating ongoing challenges in financial accountability, and there is strong belief that it will be roughly 60 to 63% unaccounted for yet again once the final numbers tally. We won't know until April. Government Furnished Property, GFP, 2023 GAO report noted that the DOD couldn't account for more than $220 billion in equipment given to contractors, with the actual total likely higher due to poor tracking. $220 billion, 0.2 of a trillion. Littoral Combat Ship, the LCS, cost escalated from an estimated $200 million per unit to around $600 million. Issues included structural defects and engine failures, leading to some ships being decommissioned prematurely. The F-35 program, known for the cost overruns and performance issues, though specific numbers of waste in this program over the last 3 decades aren't detailed and provided in the sources. It's a frequent example of defense spending inefficiency, some saying in upwards over $200 billion. The V-22 Osprey, which I've condemned on this show, highlighted for mechanical issues and trouble safety record, has been a complete waste. Corruption and waste identified. This is pretty big too. Unsolicited payments. Musk has highlighted issues with federal spending, particularly through his comments on Twitter, but also his times in front of camera. $1.4 trillion in unsolicited payments globally by federal agencies. This is not specific to the DOD, but reflects a broader critique of government financial practices, including the USAID. Hi, sweetheart. Sorry. It's a late show. I know.
Oh, I need to.
Okay. Go take care of the alarm. Run. Don't let it go off. Jeez. DOGE findings. While Musk's DOGE, Musk statements via X are more anecdotal. 37 billion in waste and fraud uncovered by DOGE tracker since its inception. And here is the big one, which I only can put this down. The exact amounts are still under scrutiny, and they are continuing. They haven't released an official report. As soon as it does, I'll tell you. The inability to account for a significant portion of assets, as seen in the audit failures, suggest trillions in potential waste of unaccounted funds, but exact figures or missing money over 3 decades are not explicitly documented in the sources beyond the percentage of unaccounted assets in recent audits. And that is where the discrepancies lay, is that they know the money is missing and it doesn't tabulate at the bottom of the P&L, so to speak. Then you have to assume, based upon what we're hearing, is that those have been removed for a reason. Karen, I have a copy of what's been released. I can get it to you if you email me. Okay. This is early. This is just a few weeks in. But I'm telling you, when they get to the DOD and the Pentagon, this is going to be ugly. And what they're going to find is that the CIA has been misappropriating funds. What's the total amount so far? I don't even know. Because I haven't even gone in the DOD. In 2012, 2010 to 2014, the DOD lost like $9.1 trillion. Just no idea. Now everyone goes, it was right after 9/11. And it wasn't. It was a decade and some odd later. And a lot of it had to do with CIA. And CIA was getting weapons off the black market, trying to eliminate the Taliban's potential in Afghanistan, and in Mosul and other places, trying to limit the amount of resistance they had with black market weaponry. So the CIA was spending billions of dollars monthly on purchasing Kalashnikovs, explosives, rockets, mortars, hand grenades, IED, improvised devices, World War II arsenal. I mean, everything. And they were using contractors and operators to go out there with duffel bags full of money. I can't even go into specifics. There's shit that I can't even still talk about. But you have to understand, this is big money, man. And when you go into the Pentagon, you're going to see trillions of dollars. And really, the reason why is after Vietnam and Indochina, when American soldiers were lied to that we had men and women and men in Indochina and Vietnam, in Saigon, Laos, etc., is they lied to Congress. It was not 2001. Cool, Mad Mike, that's a lie. It was not 2.3 trillion announced missing on 9/10/2001 by Rumsfeld. That's not true. It's not true. I can't go into it tonight, but I've gone through it on the show before. I can walk you through the DODs, and most assuredly, but it was not done the day before 9/11. That is a complete fallacy. It's a complete lie. First of all, the budget for it doesn't come out in September. Budget always starts fiscal, usually in March, when a budget's presented by the president every year. So it's I can't even begin to tell you how it's not true. We can talk about it next show tomorrow. Cool? Because it's late. And, I can only stay on for so much longer. I do have a family. And Olivia's going to get these payments in just a second, okay? So hang in there. She's taking the dog out to the restroom. But I want to get to this point. So USAID and other programs, the CIA was basically hamstrung after the secret war between Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev when it came to the Politburo, the KGB, and the FBI and the CIA, trying to get into nuclear facilities, trying to take out their human intelligence and spy agencies. There was these massive wars. Thousands of agents, Americans and Russians, died. It's a huge, huge not a big thing out there that people should learn about. Go watch The Americans. It covers a lot of it, but there's also another show. I think it's called Bridge of Spies. Also, is a really good one with Tom Hanks. If you're not into reading, that's a good one. There's a book too. It's Mike. It's totally cool, buddy. It's a rumor. A lot of people follow that, and I've already debunked it. But it doesn't matter. It's still a shit ton of money lost by the U.S. government. It just wasn't the day before 9/11. It wasn't even a month. It wasn't even 4 months after 9/11. It wasn't even 4 months before. So to get this out, Indochina, a lot of this were secret wars. They were using shadow companies to go in there. Operation Sundown was running there. I mean, there's a lot of shit that they were drug smuggling. They were running drugs out of Saigon. The CIA was involved in this. They were running fronts for the cartels and the Noriegas. All this shit was. Wanda Reed, new donator. Thank you, Wanda Reed. Wanda, I've seen you. Wanda, where do I know you from? I know your name. I think I've seen you post on Facebook before. Thank you so much, Wanda. That is an awesome donation. We really appreciate you. But to get this out, I'm trying to get this out. So to run these clandestine operations, they circumvented Congress. And this was not good for Congress. And then Reagan did it too with the Contras and everything else. Congress put a limitation on CIA funding that they had to have oversight and congressional approval, closed-door hearings that ultimately they would talk to the directors, the assistant and deputy directors to present their budgets, and they would have to have their funding approved for clandestine operations. And this was done by the Gain of 8 and the Senate Oversight Committee. Ever since the CIA had its nuts clipped like that, they have been trying to find funding, and this is how they do it. So the powers that be have robbed Peter to pay Paul. The same thing they do with Social Security. They put it into the budget. A lot of people go, well, I paid into Social Security. Folks, you haven't paid into Social Security at all because it's in fucking debt up to its ass. Frank Riley says, is Trent the new dumb show's Jessica Turloff? No, Jessica actually is, if it was Jessica, I would have been a whole lot nicer. But the point I'm trying to make is that money was funded to the CIA to continue its operations without Senate approval. And this is how you do it. Same thing with Social Security. Like I said, it's been bankrupt since fucking 80s. They sell themselves bonds every single time they do a budget. The American government buys those bonds. That money gets filtered into Social Security, and they lend against it. This is why a lot of people go, I paid into it. We know you paid into it. And they spent it a long fucking time ago. It is on life support. It is a subsidy. It is a charity right now. Your money, yes, you paid into it, but it has been bankrupt for a fucking long time. And if they stop funding it during the budget, all of our money's gone. The same thing happens here with the federal budget, is that they reappropriate funds under false indicators and false appropriations. And this is how the CIA gets money that is not on the books. And what they're going to find is a lot of this defense money, the DOD money, went into projects like USAID, went into other budget lines where it would get lost. And you're going to find this happened. And with that, you're going to have missing data. Because if you take one line item and move it over to another category, the bottom line discrepancies have to match up. Because if it didn't, our national debt would be fucking double, because you're removing it from one line and spending it somewhere else. But that budget should show a surplus in defense, but it doesn't. It's showing that it's spent, but then that other line item under that category of, let's say, USAID should show a surplus, but it isn't. So you're getting a double ding. You're getting a double ding here on your overall, you spent it with no accountability for it, and then you inject it into another program and spent it with no credibility to it. So it's a double ding. So somebody has been erasing data. And this is the point that I want to bring to you. I don't have it. Wanda says, nah, not my first time. See? Thank you, Wanda. I know your name. I've seen it before. Olivia didn't. I think she just didn't see your name before. But thank you for your donation. This is what I'm trying to say to you guys. Is that when they really start digging into the Department of Defense, when they start digging into some of this clandestine stuff, they're going to find that the CIA has been funding itself with taxpayer dollars that has not been appropriated by Congress and the Senate Oversight Committee. This is massive, and it's in the trillions. It's not billions. It's not millions. It's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. All right? I want to make sure that you guys understood what I was bringing you tonight. And I promise you, I will continue as much information as I get. I will bring it to you on the DOD because I'm waiting for the DOD. This is like the Kennedy files for me. I want heads to roll because there was a time when we were in from 1992, which I wasn't in, but 94 to 99, where people didn't have Kevlar. And this happened after, and every person who is over in the sandbox or in Afghanistan or wherever they were will tell you the same story. Didn't have Kevlar, didn't have plating on their Humvees, didn't have the right ammunition. Hand grenades were fucking impossible to find. That they were limited on the gear that they had to effectively prosecute the war on terror. And brothers died and lost limbs and committed suicide from losing friends and the travesties of war. And we, with the money that we have wasted, we could have helped every vet. We could have armed every vet. We could have the most superior military and have money for our veterans, have money for our homeless, have money for infrastructure and bridges and fucking free internet and whatever else we want. The United States government is the only country on the planet truly that could probably do free healthcare right with the amount of money we have. Do I want it? No. But I don't want government anything. I want small government. But what I'm trying to tell you is that we have wasted trillions, and it's in double digits. It's not in single. Department of Defense over the last 30 years, there's projections upward of $20 trillion unaccounted for. But I know for sure, with no doubt whatsoever, the numbers I read you for 2024, 23, 22, dating all the way back till 2001 are accurate. And it's like $9.1 trillion. Block E beginning listen to Mike Benz. I don't know who Mike Benz is. I want him to listen to me, dude. I don't want him going anywhere else. No, I'm kidding. You should get your information. Oh, are you talking about Anderson Cooper one? I don't know what you're talking about because I didn't get to do the Anderson Cooper one. Yeah. Well, if you guys haven't seen a movie, I want you to go watch a movie. Here's your homework tonight. I told you a lot of you to get the book Term Limits by Vince Flynn. It's fucking fantastic. If you have not read it, get it. One of the best government military novels ever. Oh, he's on X? Oh. Okay, maybe I'll listen to him. Thanks. You guys go listen to him too. If a listener recommends somebody at the end of my show, I don't care. There's a movie, if you haven't seen it, it's with Kevin Bacon. It's called Taking Chance. And it's fantastic. And if you haven't seen it and you're a military guy, careful. If you've been outside the wire, careful. Watch that movie when you're mentally prepared, please. Don't be drinking. Just watch it when you're in a maybe a solid stoic state. But go watch Taking Chance with Kevin Bacon. It is a beautiful story of escorts and bringing home fallen brothers and sisters to their final resting place, and it is fantastic. But in that, Chance is the guy's name. I think it's Chance Benz. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's been a long fucking night. But in the end, in the funeral, as they're handing out the final messages and his life story, on the back, it says donations are accepted for Chance so we can pay for flak vests for military members overseas. If that doesn't fucking tell you the litany of shit, I'm afraid for what they're going to uncover. This is $1 trillion industry. I don't think people are going to let Trump uncover this. I don't think the shadow government, which is used way too much. Chance Phelps, thank you, Chance Phelps. Fuck, should have known that. I feel stupid. Mike Ben, see, I mixed it up. I'm tired. My ADD is kicking in. Go watch that movie. But last thing is when I say shadow government, there is a true shadow government, and it's from our financials. And I don't think you understand how much $1 trillion is. And the fact that the United States is $36 trillion in debt, if you think it's possible for that to happen, you don't know how much money $1 trillion is. If you're looking where to watch Taking Chance, you can get it on Apple TV, get it on Amazon, you can buy it. I think it's $3.99 to rent. If you're looking to find this Ben's guy show, it sounds like he's on Twitter, go search him. Or you can just continue to watch my show, because our show is pretty damn good, Praney. If you're looking for more content, we're here 7 o'clock every single night. It's nice to see how many people we have on. We still have 250 on. It's wonderful. I want to thank you for the donations. I want to thank Olivia. I want to thank Amy. I even want to thank Trent. I don't have a problem with him. He's been on my show before, and he was just as ostentatious as he was this time. But I always mind. I don't mind a second opinion, and I don't mind people who disagree with me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 o'clock. It's going to be myself and Leroy tomorrow. We can't wait to see you. God bless. Thanks for taking care of us. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Do me a favor. If you haven't been over to thedumbshow.com, go buy some coffee, buy a shirt. We appreciate the donations, taking care of us. It keeps the show going. Thank you guys for everything tonight. I had a really good time with you, and I appreciate you. Mike Johnson, we need to bury the hatchet, dude. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.